We got a lot going on today that we're going to talk about. Big day. This is a big week for Ron DeSantis. Going to cover a lot of things with that, and there's a bunch of stories in the news. Here we go. Showtime in just a few seconds. If you're new, subscribe. Everyone, click that notification bell.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve King Show.
All right. Oh, man. It is a rainy Monday morning, and if you don't need to be on the road, don't. I left an hour before I had to be here today. I left like really early this morning and still just barely made it because the rain is so bad. I stayed off of 95 as long as I could and took Military Trail as far north as I could, but it is rough out there. The rains in Florida are a coming. All right, we've got a lot to talk about on the program today. Welcome everyone. I'm Brian Craig. It's Monday, April 17th, 2023. Of course, you are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. That's right, celebrating 46 years on the radio this very year. Okay, so a lot is going on. By the way, if you missed it, Jim Jordan said he endorses Donald Trump for president, and he is 100% behind President Trump, who is the front runner and presumed nominee of the Republican Party. Isn't that nice? Jim Jordan just came out. I'm 100% with Trump. No dancing around. Did you see this interview with Tim Scott? What a jerk he turned out to be. They asked him like 12 times about Trump, and he danced all around it and talked about everything, but he thinks he's a credible candidate, I guess. I thought he might be a credible vice presidential running mate with Trump, but it doesn't seem like he's saying much good about Trump, Tim. You see this interview with him in some restaurant with this reporter? I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. Very disappointed in you, Tim Scott. Oh, he's trying to be his own man. I mean, come on, grow up, butch up, all right? But let's first talk about Ron DeSantis. There's two big stories about Ron DeSantis. One, if you follow me on my YouTube, I did a live stream Saturday on my YouTube, and I was shocked that it seems everyone agreed with me on my YouTube live stream about this incident in New Hampshire with DeSantis getting rushed on stage. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit because that was such a fake setup event, and I'm going to go through. We're going to talk about that and take your calls on it. But there's a big story today. It's actually the headline story in the New York Post is about Ron DeSantis. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis plans to unveil a new crackdown against Disney after their 11th hour coup. Now, this is a big deal. And I know you might think, oh, Disney World. Okay. This is a big deal. Okay. Disney, which looks to me to has become Ron DeSantis's Moby Dick. We got Governor Ron DeSantis Ahab here. And Disney just smoked him. Disney, in the last days that they controlled their own government, passed all these new agreements with Disney, which gives Disney even more control than they ever had before over all of their property until 21 years after the death of the final descendant of King Charles, who's about to be coronated. Isn't that crazy? So that's like forever. And they gave themselves a better deal than they had years ago. And all of the things that cost them money, like the fire department and the electricity and the cost of maintaining the roads, they left that to the state of Florida to cover. So it was really embarrassing for Governor Ron DeSantis because he had been talking about Disney for so long. So now he's making a big move to void, that's the word they're using, void everything Disney did. So let me read through this story. This is in the New York Post. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is not backing down against Disney. Now, we got to understand the New York Post is Fox News, Rupert Murdoch. They hate Trump. They're elevating DeSantis. So, this is going to be a big, probably PR piece written by the New York Post about Governor DeSantis. The Republican, Ron DeSantis, on Monday, that's today, will unveil new crackdown measures against the corporate giant Disney after it tried to kneecap his oversight of its self-governance power. What they tried to do is an embarrassment, a senior administration source told the New York Post. The narrative the left is spinning is that Governor DeSantis was outmaneuvered. Well, I'm not on the left, but he was outmaneuvered. There's no doubt about it. How do you see it any other way? But this is far from over, and he's going to have the last laugh. DeSantis, age 44, is set to announce plans by the state of Florida legislature to void a controversial move by Disney. It's called the King Charles Clause, is what it's been commonly referred to, that effectively stripped the governor's newly installed oversight board of authority, sources say. And, it was the oversight board who said we have no authority when they convened for the first time. Officials called Disney's tactic an illegal poison pill intended to undercut state supervision over its special tax district. The governor, a presumptive 2024 presidential candidate, is seeking to revoke other privileges the House of Mouse has enjoyed since its special tax district was established in 1967. The Orlando Park's monorail and transportation systems have long been exempt from external inspections along with its rides. But new rules can now make Disney subject to those regulations. Okay, so it's a very long article. I'm not going to read further. So now DeSantis is trying to float that the Disney rides and everything are unsafe and all of these things. This is going to be quite possibly the final nail in the coffin of his hopes. I believe Ron DeSantis is unelectable forever. His betrayal of Donald Trump will never be forgotten. We'll never be able to trust him again. But now he's about to take on Moby Disney here, and we're going to find out whether he's a real leader or not. And this is just the way it is. If he can't beat Mickey Mouse, how is he going to take on Putin? And the answer to that's easy. He won't be able to. So, he's become obsessed with this issue. He lost it. Now he's going to challenge them again, and he's not going to win. He is not going to win. They're going to tie this up in courts for so long, he'll be long out of the governor's mansion, and the next government that comes in, well, they're going to make concessions and get this over with because they don't want to be destroyed by what DeSantis set up. So he is not going to win this. This is the beginning of the end of Ron DeSantis. By the way, on this rainy day, has Ron DeSantis visited Fort Lauderdale yet? I was watching some of the footage in Fort Lauderdale from the flooding over the weekend. My goodness, it was worse than I thought on Friday. Has he visited Fort Lauderdale yet? Let's take our first break of the week. When we come back, there is more. Your calls are welcome at 1-888-GO-CANE1. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, back right after this break.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action.
Yeah, I'm telling you, he's looks like he's done to me. Tell me yes or no. Will DeSantis win against Disney? I say no. No way. Yeah. No way. I mean, if you can't beat Disney World, how are you going to take on China? How are you going to take on Russia? How are you going to take on North Korea? You just can't do it. It's impossible. Those of you that are new, this is our first break of the show on the radio. These are all commercials playing over the radio.
We have non-surgical solutions that include rehab and injections that can prevent you from having to have surgery or prolong the surgery. We've been in practice for 75 years in South Florida. You don't have to live with pain any longer.
Yes. No, there's no way he can win. No way he can win. Let me see here. Oh, boy. Everyone have a great weekend? I did. Got some great plans for this coming weekend. Can't wait.
We are originally from Connecticut, where our values and work ethic is second to none. Install all kinds of roofs from asphalt, shingle, clay, and concrete tile, extended metal siding, and flat roof system. We work with homeowners, HOAs, commercial properties, and churches. We are state of Florida licensed roofing and general contractors.
All right. One more commercial and then we're back.
We help guide our customers to a successful outcome by showing them every step of the way. Let our family take care of your
I ordered iced coffee and it has no ice. So I don't know if I got a better deal and got more ice or what, where that came from. I don't know. The girl that made my coffee today was not in a good mood. Oh, I'll talk about Don Jr. I did my whole podcast last night was about Don Jr. and Bud Light. It was a pretty good podcast. You're welcome to call me about it. I'll comment on it. He's back in Florida. He may be listening. You never know.
At the Delray Beach Chamber of Commerce, we are better together. Become a member at delraybeach.com.
The Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM. Hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM. Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM. And anywhere in the world at TrueOldiesFLA.com.
All right. Welcome back, one and all. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Callers on hold, stand by. Yeah, the rain this morning is brutal. Brutal. When I got in my car this morning at my house, it was just pouring. And then the lightning and the thunder. Oh, my goodness. And, I drove to work a little slower than I did, but I knew I was safe because I've got 4 brand new tires on my car. Friendly Tire in Margate is amazing. I've been a customer there for many years, longer than they've been with us here sponsoring the program. Friendly Tire in Margate, they have thousands of good used tires in stock, by the way, at very low prices. And they also have an incredible price on all of their new tires. In fact, you'll find the lowest prices on new tires at Friendly Tire up against anywhere. When you call Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire, he'll give you a quote right over the phone. And that quote is out the door and on the road because he doesn't add any other charges to it. He doesn't charge you to balance your tires. He doesn't charge you to mount the tires or even dispose of your old ones. The price he quotes you over the phone is out the door and on the road. I got 3 cars in my family, my daughter's car, my wife's car, and my car. And all 3 of them have brand new tires on them. Before I found Friendly Tire, I would put off buying tires until really I was driving on tires that weren't safe. And as we're not officially in hurricane season, rainy season, it's raining pretty much every day. You don't want to be out on the roads, and you certainly don't want your family out on the roads on tires that you shouldn't be out on these wet, rainy roads with. Call Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire. He'll give you a quote right over the phone on new or used tires. But I think when you get those new tire prices, you're going to say, oh, why get the used? I'll just get the new. And by the way, he has all the brands, like on my daughter's car, I got her new Firestone tire. I like Firestone because I think they look cool. I'm a Firestone guy. But they have Bridgestone, whatever type of tires you like, he has them all. And if you have run flats, like on my wife's Mini Cooper, the lowest prices you will find on run flats anywhere. Here's his number. And we have listeners that drive 2 hours each way to go to Friendly Tire. That's how good the prices are. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. That's 954-977-9445 for Friendly Tire in Margate. All right, let's take a call or two before we move on. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Oh, hey, Mike.
Great line, Moby Disney.
Yeah, I like it.
That is what we're looking at here. They have this is, like you said, this is going to be tied up in court until after he's out of office. And the next governor, whomever it might be, is probably going to end up settling it with Disney,
Yeah, they're going to cave. The next governor, whoever they aren't going to go down with the ship because DeSantis took on a company that in an issue that he can't win on.
That's right, and that's the thing. And this is, and like you said, he is unelectable.
Forever. Ron DeSantis is unelectable forever because of his betrayal of Trump. You know, I said it first here on this program when President Trump posted on Truth Social that Bragg is going to arrest me on Tuesday, and Ron DeSantis had a press conference and said he would not interfere, which means he would let Bragg come to Florida and arrest a Floridian, Donald Trump. That was the end of DeSantis. And he had a few opportunities to walk that back and do the right thing, and he made it worse. I know what Carrie Lake would do. She would have stood at the gates of Mar-a-Lago, and when President and they'd have to go through her to get the Trump. And when President Trump flew to New York, if Carrie Lake was our governor, she would have flown there with him and been by his side with his legal team. This, you know, he's done. He's unelectable forever. And I'm, you know, this thing that he's doing now, he may get a quick victory lap this week. The legislature will pass the legislation and he'll sign it, but Disney's going to take it to court and it's going to be in court forever. He's not going to win. The only good thing that Ron DeSantis has done for us with this entire betrayal is tip us off before 2028 when he would have walked into the nomination possibly after President Trump's second term. I'm glad he blew his cover that he's a never Trumper Republican establishment Bush Karl Rove now and not in 2028 after he was elected after Trump's second term. That would have been awful.
Yeah, you know, and before I get off, which I got to tell you something, the most dangerous combination you can have is rain and My Pillow products, because rain can put you to sleep, but My Pillow products will keep you asleep.
Okay, that's somewhat of an attempt at a commercial message. Not too good one, because you said it in a negative way. You presented it in a negative way. You don't want to, when you're doing a commercial, you don't want to present something in a negative way. You want to share it in a positive way. But I credit you. So let's try to forget about that part. What My Pillow products do you have in your home?
I have just about everything. I have the slippers. I have the My Pillow 2.0. I have I even have the old My Pillows. I have the mattress topper.
Wow, that's great. And the My Pillow bathrobe. That's awesome. You have almost as many My Pillow products as I do. Well, thanks, Mike. I appreciate it. All right, take care. Now, the next thing I want to talk about involving Governor DeSantis is this incident on the news with the two ladies storming the stage, yelling Jews against DeSantis. Now, I did a YouTube live stream on Saturday morning, which you guys should watch on my YouTube channel. You know, there's a liberal homeless guy that's always off to the side when I live stream on the weekends at Starbucks. And he was so upset with me. I didn't do my live streams last week over Easter. And he was so upset that I was back for my MAGA live stream on YouTube at Starbucks and my MAGA hat and everything. He decided to make his debut on camera. And if you watch that video, you'll see the liberal homeless guy who lives at the Starbucks in Boca. You'll see him several times during the video, and he's not happy. He was trying to do some things with noise to disrupt me, but I have a directional mic that I use. It's what I'm using now, and it blocks out all the sound other than what's directly in front of it in my mouth, you know, and all this stuff. So he that failed, and then he kept walking by the stream and made his debut. So you can check that out. But anyway, I'm going to walk you through after the bottom of the hour break because it's a very detailed thing and I don't want to have to stop in the middle of it. And I don't have time to do the whole story now. But this video that you've seen with the two women storming the stage during the DeSantis speech in New Hampshire, yelling Jews against DeSantis, I believe that is fake. And I'm going to explain my thinking on that, and I'm going to walk you through the circumstantial evidence that will prove my case. And I think when I'm done with it, you're going to agree with me that the entire incident was staged, this Ron DeSantis incident with the two women on the stage yelling Jews against DeSantis. But I'm not going to do that till after the bottom of the hour break because it's a little complex, and explain several things. And after I do, I want to take your calls, and you let me know whether you think that was a real protest or it was staged. Now, Mike from Louisiana called in about his MyPillow products. Mother's Day is coming up, and the MyPillow products are great Mother's Day gifts. It's a gift mom will have forever. He mentioned the MyPillow My Slippers. I have 2 pairs of the MyPillow My Slippers. Right now, they're $100 off, just $49.98. Mom would love those for Mother's Day, just $49.98. MyPillow My Slippers, I paid $149.98. You're going to get them $100. And they have a bunch of new sizes, smaller sizes, a bunch of new colors as well. And he also said he has the MyPillow bathrobe. Think about it. You get mom the MyPillow bathrobe and the MyPillow slippers, she'll love it. The MyPillow bathrobe's a huge discount for Mother's Day, just $59.98. That's right, $59.98 with our promo code Kane at checkout at mypillow.com. You can also order by phone, toll free, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879, promo code Kane. It's a Mother's Day gift Mom will never forget. We'll be right back after this.
Making morning radio great again. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Oh, man. Welcome, guys. If you're new to my stream, please subscribe.
The greatest rock and roll hits of the 60s and 70s coming up this morning.
I don't know if I got ripped off on my coffee or not this morning. Yeah, so I got to go through that on the radio. I know I did a live stream on Saturday about the incident, but I got to go through it on our Florida radio audience here. And I want you guys, when I go through this incident, I'm about to sneeze. Call me on the air. Let me know if you think I'm lying or not. Did any of you guys catch the homeless man on my YouTube stream on Saturday? The liberal homeless guy? Oh, thank you very much. Thank you for the bless yous. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you for the bless yous. Oh, yeah, for call friendly time. Make sure you tell them you heard about him on the radio, Bruce. He's wide awake. What Mike's doing back there, you guys on the phone, he uploads the, and you can go to our radio station website and see it. He uploads the show as a podcast on our radio station website every day at trueoldiesfla.com. And he puts timestamps throughout the entire description of the episode of everything that's happened on the show. So he's on his phone making notes on his notepad, and then he puts it on the podcast description on our website. That's what he's doing back there. Plus, he's playing all the commercials and doing all that stuff, too. And if you go to trueoldiesfla.com and look at the podcast, you'll see he does the whole thing in timestamp. Now, he was the couple days he was off, the guy that filled in probably didn't. But if you, go to Friday's show, because he was back on Friday, you'll see. That's what he's doing back there. It's pretty detailed, too, with timestamps. Chris Ray in disguise. Yeah. You got to be careful with homeless people because they're unpredictable. Most of them are mentally ill, which means they're unpredictable. They're probably not taking their medications. And a lot of them are criminals with warrants. You know? Not in, it depends on where you are. Not in Palm Beach County. That's an unusual thing. Palm Beach County cracked down on the homeless problem. You're probably in Broward, Bruce. You in Broward? Depends on where you're at. Liberal Broward County loves the homeless. They're like Chicago with the criminals. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I know. But you guys, when I'm live streaming, I can see behind my back because I can see on the screen when he walks by me what's going on. I like live streaming from there on the weekends because it's nice. The weather's nice, quiet. He's new. Yeah, Steve and I, we used to have a cable access TV show. It was hilarious. And we did a show on the homeless, and we went under the bridges and everything, interviewing homeless people. It was crazy. We paid them $5 for an interview. We stood in front of this liquor store in Fort Lauderdale and interviewed homeless people in front of this liquor store. We went under some bridges, went up to the people holding up the signs on the side of the road. It was a great show. This last commercial, then we'll be back. Welcome, everyone. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. The homeless will be leaving when it warms up north. They're like the homeless are like the birds. They come to Florida for the winter, then back up north during the summer. All right. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. It's Monday morning, April 17th, coming up on 33 minutes after the hour. Okay, so this is the other story about Ron DeSantis, and I'm going to go through this, and then I want to take your calls as to whether or not you agree with me or not. Now, Ron DeSantis, while Fort Lauderdale was really had their 100-year flood, and that's how it was described, this flooding in Fort Lauderdale, far worse than we even thought on Friday when we were talking about it on Friday. I was watching some of the local news coverage in Broward over the weekend. Oh, my goodness. It's awful. My mother lives in Fort Lauderdale, but luckily she was not flooded in the part that she lives in. But pretty brutal. So Ron DeSantis is up in New Hampshire on his book tour, and he's at a campaign stop disguised as a book tour, which was $150 a person. So it shows you it was a fundraiser. And then these two women burst up on stage yelling Jews against DeSantis, okay, which is a very bizarre thing. Let me play the audio. Let me play the audio of this. This is DeSantis in New Hampshire.
If you looked at governor races, president races, 2010, 12, 14, 16, 18, yeah, thank you. You gotta have a little spice in the speech, right? I mean, you gotta have a little fun. Why you'd want to pay the ticket to get in just to do that, I don't know, but different strokes for different folks.
Okay, so that's what happened. Jews against DeSantis. Okay, now I saw this Saturday afternoon or evening, I guess I saw it on Twitter, and I thought this just doesn't look right. I didn't think too much of it. And then I got up in the morning, and it was like the lead story all over the news on Saturday morning. I saw it Friday, and then I saw it was a lead story Saturday morning. And I read through the story, and I said, Jews against DeSantis? What does that even mean? That doesn't even make sense. So I went and did a live stream on YouTube and made the case that I'm going to make for you right now to show you that this was a complete fake setup, okay? To try to make they're trying to make DeSantis someone that the left hates, so they think we'll circle the wagons. We're never going to forget his betrayal of Donald Trump. It's just not going to happen. Never going to. He is unelectable forever, Ron DeSantis. Unelectable forever. He could not win the Florida primary, even if Trump wasn't in it. He could not win his congressional district that he used to hold. That little tiny congressional district, he'd lose that too. Ron DeSantis is unelectable forever. I'm hoping Don Jr. is our next governor after Ron DeSantis. That's my pick. But anyway, back to this thing with DeSantis. Jews against DeSantis, they were chanting, the two ladies. Can someone tell me what that means and what they are referencing? It makes no sense at all. In fact, it makes even less sense than on a normal weekend of that happening because of what Governor DeSantis did over the weekend. Governor DeSantis signed a bill into law, which was a really good thing. The Florida state legislature finally passed the 6-week abortion ban, and Governor DeSantis signed it into law. And that's right. We have a 6-week abortion ban in Florida, and Ron DeSantis signed it into law. It's pretty good, huh? Yeah, that's awesome. Even though I don't like him anymore, I got to say he did the right thing there. However, it's a little more strict than that. It's not just a 6-week ban on abortions, no abortions after 6 weeks. A woman or girl who was the victim of rape or incest and is pregnant, beyond the 6 weeks, to get an abortion after 6 weeks, they would have to provide documentation to prove that they were raped or a victim of incest. And by the way, incest is a rape too, right? That's pretty hardcore, huh? That's the kind of that. I mean, that's amazing. Look what Trump did. Overturned Roe v. Wade, and now these things are happening around the country. That's a good thing. So Florida just passed some of the most strict abortion laws there are, and then Ron DeSantis signed them. This is like on Friday. So you're telling me the day of, or it was either the day of or the day after he signed that very hardcore pro-life legislation, 2 women bust on stage and they're not wearing handmaids costumes, like from the TV show, like those lunatics that were trying to open up the Supreme Court doors and pry them off the hinges when Kavanaugh was being sworn. Remember the Handmaid's Tale ladies up in DC during the Kavanaugh hearings? It wasn't Handmaid's Tale women. They weren't yelling about abortion or a woman's right to choose and all that. It was Jews against DeSantis. It makes no sense. If they were up there yelling about abortion because of the bill that he signed into law, I wouldn't have even thought about it. I would say, wow, that's, idiots. But there was no issue with this Jews against DeSantis, and it was bizarre. I want to add something to that. His campaign is being run by Karl Rove, the canned ham on Fox News with his ridiculous whiteboard. That's become that, his whiteboard, he never leaves home without it. He probably, when Karl Rove is traveling or he's at an airport, I bet he's got the whiteboard so people recognize him. It's like Phil Donahue. Remember Phil Donahue with the white hair? The reason he never dyed his hair is nobody would recognize him if he dyed his hair. Remember Sally Jesse Raphael with the ridiculous glasses? She kept those ridiculous glasses all those years because no one would recognize her without the glasses. Karl Rove walks around with the whiteboard so people know who he is. 2 or 3 weeks ago, I can't remember which, but I saw it. It was insane. Karl Rove was being interviewed by Dana Perino on Fox News Channel, and they were talking about Ron DeSantis' presidential campaign, and Karl Rove slipped and referred to Ron DeSantis' presidential campaign as our campaign, which is an admission that he's running the DeSantis campaign, which is illegal. Okay, it's disguised as a book tour. Okay, so we know Karl Rove is behind and running the DeSantis campaign. Karl Rove is on Fox News every day. They love him over there, probably because he does big ad buys on their national thing with campaigns that he manages. And Karl Rove constantly says something that is not true, that we lost the midterm elections. He says this all the time. We did not lose the midterm elections. President Trump fired Nancy Pelosi, and we have a MAGA House of Representatives now, led by Kevin McCarthy and his lieutenant, Marjorie Taylor Greene. And Marjorie Taylor Greene, who looks to be President Trump's personal representative in the House, right? So that's it. We have a MAGA House now. So we won. But anyway, Karl Rove keeps saying we lost. And then he says, we lost. By the way, when you say we, you're not with us. Okay, Karl Rove. When he says that we lost the midterms, which we didn't, but when Karl Rove says it, he says it's because of abortion. The MAGA Trump extreme position on abortion, suburban moms, and that's why we lost the midterms, which we didn't lose. So Karl Rove does not want DeSantis connected with the pro-life thing. So this fake incident, where they're not yelling about abortion, but yelling about Jews for DeSantis, looks even more fake. And then something happened since my live stream on Saturday that I would add into this. You may have seen this. Ron DeSantis lost a big donor. Did you see this? Ron DeSantis lost a big Republican donor. You may have seen the story. Did you see why he lost the big Republican donor? The big Republican donor that Ron DeSantis lost says he dropped financial support of Ron DeSantis because of his extreme abortion position, that bill he signed this week. Now, Karl Rove is a part of the Bush team that crafted a whole fake WMD lie to get us into war with Iraq that went on for how long and how many millions of people's lives were destroyed? So this whole incident in New Hampshire with Ron DeSantis was staged. Now, I am not saying that Ron DeSantis set it up. I'm not accusing Ron DeSantis of doing that. I don't think he did. He probably didn't even know about it. I'm saying Karl Rove and the Bushes set it up. In my opinion, possibly, quite likely. It just doesn't make sense. All right. So I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. Did that incident look real or fake to you? Did that look like a setup moment in New Hampshire with Ron DeSantis? I say fake. I say setup. But hey, listen, call me and let me know if you agree or disagree. I think I make a good case for it. And I think when you put all the pieces together, it makes perfect sense. Our number is toll free. 1-888-GO-CANE-1. 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. Now we're going to take a break, and Don Jr. spoke out on Bud Light and the Bud Light boycott. I'm going to talk about that when we get back, because that's what some conservatives are doing in the aftermath of what Don Jr. said is pretty outrageous. So I'm going to come back from the break and talk about that. But you're welcome to call in about anything I brought up since 6, because I've been bringing up a lot of things. But after the break, I am going to move into this Don Jr. controversy and put that in the proper light. I've seen it. I watched what Don Jr. said. I watched his podcast when he talked about it, and I'll give my thoughts on it. And of course, get back to your calls at 1-888-GO-CANE-1. Now, if you're on the roads, drive slowly. Drive slowly. It's dark out and it's rain. That's the worst. Driving in the dark and driving in the rain in the dark. Oh, I hate it. When it's raining in the dark, I don't like driving. But I'm here today. This show better be good, because I literally took my life into my hands behind the wheel driving in this weather this morning to get here. I'm serious. It's pretty bad. So don't be out on the road if you don't have to. All right. 1-888-GO-CANE-1. 888-465-2631. Back after this.
The cold, hard truth.
Well, thank you, K-Mac. Thank you, guys. Oh, I was just going to do that commercial. I'll wait till next time. Mm-hmm.
I want to thank you guys once again. I listened to this show since the mid-'80s. Thank you for introducing me to Dr. Appleton, Brian and Steve. I went in last week. I had a knee problem. At one session, I feel so much better. I brought my mother there yesterday. She has a problem with her right side of her arm. She's right-handed. She feels better. It's amazing. And for people out there that are dealing with pain, believe me, there is an alternative. Go in there for the free consultation. FRE is free. You will lose. The only thing you're losing is the thing you're dealing with. Do not suffer. Go in there and see Dr. Appleton. The greatest visit of your life.
What a great commercial that guy is for Dr. Appleton, isn't it? Mickey Mouse ice cream bars are good. They're good. You don't like ice cream? I love ice cream. Well, thank you, Jeff from Maine. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you guys for supporting my channel. Well, thank you, Lisa. Ron is destroying himself now. Yeah, I mean, he's already unelectable forever. And now he's doing the last bit of destruction he can possibly do to his electability. I mean, he's done. But I'm gonna defend Don Jr. I talked about it on the podcast last night. This is very important. I've gotten so much feedback on this thing with Don Jr. I'll take a call or two first, but I'm going to defend Don Jr. Well, you can watch the stream after. The first 45 minutes of the show are about Governor DeSantis.
Show is on.
It sure is. Callers on hold. Stand by. I'm Brian. It is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. On the radio since 1977, celebrating 46 years on the radio. Isn't that amazing? And that's because of you guys out there. Thanks so much for your support of the Steve Kane Show. Now, I want to tell everyone about this incredible Rocky Mountaineer train trip through the great and beautiful Canadian Rockies from August 15th through the 20th, right around the corner. And, you know, this is a great time of year because August is hot. I mean, you know how hot, especially here in Florida. Oh, my goodness. August, that's like a tough time of the year, isn't it? But the weather's perfect in Canada. It's perfectly cool. It's not freezing. It's not cold. It's cool. It's the perfect temperature for humans in August in Canada. The Rocky Mountaineer will travel through spiral tunnels, cross the Continental Divide, go through mountain passes and canyons. You'll have top shelf food and drinks and wine along the way. Great local delicacies like fresh Fraser River salmon and much more. And you have these incredible once-in-a-lifetime bucket list opportunity views of the great Canadian Rockies. You know, the Rocky Mountaineer train is bi-level. The top of it is a glass dome. So you sit up there and you just enjoy all these great views. It goes completely across Canada from the east and then ends in the west in Vancouver. To learn more, go to briantrain.com. When you go to briantrain.com, request a brochure. All right. Now, the tour includes award-winning service from the host of the tour. They'll be with you, attending to your every need, entertaining you with stories about the landmarks and wildlife sightings and the views along the way. This is just a great opportunity. Go to briantrain.com and request a brochure. All right. briantrain.com. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Sandra from Boca. How are you?
Hey, Sandra, what's up?
So that thing that I just heard with DeSantis, that not only sounded rehearsed, it sounded on cue.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I didn't listen closely enough for on cue, but yeah, it did sound rehearsed. Jews against DeSantis. I don't even know what that means. Do you? What does that mean?
I don't know, and also the way he took it, I would have been like just a moment of silence.
Oh, you think he knew in advance that it was coming?
I kind of, yeah, because he's like, oh, different strokes, or I mean, it just sounded too, I don't know how to describe it. It's like his reaction time was very, it's just like he knew how to react to it very, very quickly, unless that's just a gift that he has.
Yeah, and I'll tell you another thing. I talked about how I was with Governor DeSantis right before the election at Wings Plus, and he has security like I've only seen with presidents. So I don't know how somebody could get up on stage with the security that he has around him.
Yes, exactly.
Well, it's if they would have gone up there and yelled about abortion, I would have bought it and wouldn't have even thought about it.
Correct. And they sounded very young. They also sounded very young.
Well, you have to be, young and stupid.
Yeah. So I don't know, there's just something not right.
And I'll tell you, this is something, okay? Because when I woke up Saturday morning and I went and did this live stream on my YouTube channel about it, I thought people were going to think I was suffering from DeSantis derangement syndrome. And the reason I did this video on YouTube is I wanted to find out, am I nuts? Or what do you think? And I have not found a single person who told me anything other than it looks fake.
Yeah, and I just want you to know I'm in agreement with that.
Mm-hmm.
You just listened to it very carefully the minute you aired it, and I said, that just not only sounds rehearsed, it sounds like on cue.
That's right.
Is when you're going to do it.
Okay, take care. Thanks for the call.
Okay.
All right, from Boca. Awesome. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, that was quick. It was a quick response you got there, Brian.
I'm quick.
Yep, you're quick on the draw. All right, the scene this morning is Trump. People are abandoning him. Is that what your scene was this morning when I took?
No. Who's abandoning Trump, other than DeSantis? Who's abandoning Trump?
Well, first of all, DeSantis claims that Trump claims that he's the one who brought us DeSantis in the first place.
That's correct.
Right?
That's correct.
Right.
Wait. Sort of. Oh, he's responsible. So that's interesting. What about General Washington? You think he was a good guy? Won us our freedom?
What's that?
You heard me. Well, I by the as old as you are, you may remember George Washington, General Washington. Was he a great man who was George Washington a great man who won America our independence?
Well, maybe not.
He's so afraid. These callers, people in this audience know when I ask a question, I'm going somewhere. So you can't even say George Washington was a great general and great man. You can't even say that in president.
I never.
You never meant George. You are familiar with General Washington.
I went to his home and saw his.
Oh my goodness! Yes, Mount Vernon. Yeah, Mount Vernon. Okay, who cares about your tourism? I want you guys before I say what I'm going to say about where I was leading this guy. He is blaming Ron DeSantis on Trump. I asked, I'm talking to the audience right now, not you. I'll be back to you in a minute. Okay. So I don't need you to respond to every utterance and syllable out of my mouth. Okay. So this guy calls in, he's going to lie and probably, but he doesn't like Trump. He's blaming Trump for DeSantis's betrayals. There are a handful of people in American history that are at almost saintly levels, never to be criticized. One of them is the great General Washington, our first president, who won America its independence and did a great job as president just by establishing the two-term limit and all that. It's a great, great man. So this guy, I asked him if General Washington was a great man. He can't even say yes. He's not even sure he won us our independence. So I'm not, because he knows I'm going somewhere, and I'll tell you where I'm going. Who is in the American Revolution? Who was the biggest traitor to the United States of America in the American Revolution? The biggest traitor we had.
Well, that's a tough one.
No, it's not. It's a household name. Benedict Arnold, right? Benedict Arnold.
I read the book Valley Forge.
You read the book. You were at Valley Forge. Come on, Benedict Arnold. You're familiar with Benedict? You're. Oh my. Is this call considered elder abuse? Benedict Arnold. You're familiar with Benedict Arnold, right?
Yes.
Okay. Benedict Arnold betrayed America. He was George Washington's best friend, and George Washington put him in charge of the post at West Point, which he handed over to the Brits. So do you blame General Washington for the betrayal of Benedict Arnold?
Trump betrayed America.
No. I didn't. This is like the Tim Scott interview. Do you blame George Washington, the founder of our great nation, for the betrayal of Benedict Arnold?
Let's get back to him.
No. I am answering your question, but not in the way you want me to answer it. Do you blame George Washington for Benedict Arnold?
What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly. What am I talking about? Okay. Yes. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Jeff from Maine.
Hey, Jeff. Oh boy.
That caller was an idiot.
Yeah. Well, you know, that's Trump derangement syndrome, you know.
No doubt, because your question was perfect. Was George Washington at fault for Benedict Arnold? No, he trusted the man. And Trump learned the hard way and has had many people stab him in the back. And when you are in there long enough, you find out who your true friends are.
Exactly.
Trump, Trump is brilliant. He learned a lot, and he's going to do a lot better this time.
Well, yeah. I mean, you know, when people betray you, they betray you. I mean, that's just what happened. He was betrayed by Ron DeSantis. And by the way, we all were betrayed by Ron DeSantis. And DeSantis got what he wanted, reelected, and then he betrayed those of us in Florida who have supported and voted for him.
You know, you have said a couple of times Don Jr. should run for governor. You know who else could? And I really think she'd be awesome as Ivanka, because look at all the female governors that have come along and stood up and had more balls than Republican men.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I would very much like Don Jr. to be the governor after Ron DeSantis's second term. We really don't have anybody in line to be set up to be a MAGA governor after Governor DeSantis. I think Governor DeSantis, after him, Don Jr. would be perfect.
When we go to the next rally, I'm willing to bet that they're going to try something to disrupt it more than ever.
Yeah. What do you think about this? What do you think about this thing with DeSantis? With those girls? Did that look fake to you?
It sounded so fake. I only heard one voice.
Jews against DeSantis. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, yeah, weak. It just seemed so fishy.
Yeah, it did. All right. Hey, listen, Jeff, thanks for the call. Now, here is the most important question I'm going to ask you of the day. Do you or someone you know or love suffer from neuropathy? If you suffer from neuropathy, if someone in your circle, your family circle, your friends, your neighbors have neuropathy, you know they are suffering. They are suffering. Neuropathy is terrible. The symptoms are god-awful. Numbness, pain, burning, tingling in the hands and feet, muscle weakness, dizziness, muscle twitching, the feeling of pins and needles in the hands and feet. Some have no feeling at all. Some have all these symptoms in constant rotation. Some of them have multiple at the same time. And doctors will tell you there is no treatment. Well, that's not the case. Lighthouse Medical Center in Pompano has a treatment for neuropathy that works. It worked on Steve Kane, and I've talked to many people in this audience who it's worked on too. Rid yourself of your neuropathy symptoms. Call Lighthouse Medical Center. Online, you can find them at lighthousemedicalcenter.com. Their number is 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio so you can take advantage of their no-charge consultation. And if you can't make it to Pompano and you're out of town, call them. They probably can still help you no matter where you're located. 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. Back after this.
WWNN Pompano Beach, WIRK HD3 Indian. Programming paid for by Vic Canales Media Group. Broadcasting from the Robes Studio. Injured recently? Call the Robes Law Group, where winning is a habit. 561-570-5700. 561-570-5700. Robes, winning for you and our community. Your home for the Steve Kane Show. From the Palm Beach Patio Furniture Weather Center, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created, here's the Oldies forecast.
Good morning, everybody. Hope you're doing well on this Monday after a saturated Sunday night. The rain's continuing today.
I got something on the, I'll get to the Don Jr. stuff later. I'll get to it before the end of the show. But this thing about Mayor Pete with the racist accidents, I have a thought on that is not politically correct, that will really get people upset. Yeah. So I'm not sure if I should share it or not. Who are they? Are they identified? By the way, I was looking today into this shooting at that Sweet 16 party. They've not released any information about the shooter they arrested that I can find. Have you guys seen any details on the person they arrested? No. Why would they be hiding the identity and any details? And what day did that? That happened Saturday? So when did they do the arrest? Did they do the arrest on Saturday or Sunday? Why would they keep it quiet? No information about the person they arrested. Very unusual. In a high profile case? Mm-hmm. But Mayor Pete, I'm not going to tell you what I'm thinking. Mayor Pete may be correct that there is a racial disparity in traffic accidents with African Americans. He may be right. Maybe right. I'll explain maybe when we get into this. We'll get to that. We're here till 9. All right, it's Monday. Hour number 2 has begun. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Steve joining us. Hey, Steve.
How are you this week?
All right, lots happening, lots going on. Oh, man. No. By the way, anything I brought up in the first hour about Governor DeSantis, you are welcome to call in on throughout the show. But like I say, I've yet to find anyone who disagrees with me that incident in New Hampshire looks like a setup. Now, this is going to be crazy when I first say this, and I'm not sure I should even share my thoughts on this topic on the air. But Mayor Pete may be right about something. And did you see this nonsense of him over the weekend about the racist car accidents?
Yes.
Okay, let me play the clip. Let me see here. I know I got it here. Hold on. I know I pulled this up. Everyone's making fun of Mayor Pete and everything else. Now, I want to play this. Yeah, well, Mayor Pete's a joke. I mean, he's a joke. He really is. He's the thing about Mayor Pete, he's a man who's accomplished nothing in life and thinks he's accomplished everything. I mean, he's such a vacuous person. And when he speaks, he uses so many words and says very little. But he's talking about car accidents are racist. And he may be onto something here. And when I share with you what it is, it may be considered controversial, what I'm about to say, which is the last thing you want to do on the radio, right? But I'll throw out how he is possibly somewhat correct, and you guys can call in and let me know your thoughts on it. So here's Mayor Pete on the weekend interview about the racist car. Remember, this guy said roads are racist, right? Blacks don't go to the beach because the bridges are too low for the buses to drive under. Remember that nonsense? You know, maybe black people don't go to the beach because they don't need a tan like we, pasty white people. You know what I mean? Anyway, let's get back to this. This is Mayor Pete over the weekend on the racist car accidents.
We've got a crisis when it comes to roadway fatalities in America. We lose about 40,000 people every year. It's a level that's comparable to gun violence. And we see a lot of racial disparities. Black and brown Americans, tribal citizens, and rural residents.
By the way, tribal citizens, that's liberal speak for Indians, okay?
That's comparable to gun violence. And we see a lot of racial disparities. Black and brown Americans, tribal citizens, and rural residents much more likely to lose their lives, whether it's in a car or as a pedestrian being hit by a car. There are a lot of reasons related to discrimination, related to even the ways that roads are designed and built. Who has access to a safe street design that's got crosswalks and good lighting? Who doesn't have that access? That can drive disparities, and we have a responsibility to act on that.
Okay, a lot of words. Well, I think he may be right about something to a certain degree, but his conclusion, of course, is wrong. I think that he mentioned pedestrians, so he's not talking about just auto accidents. He's in particular talking about pedestrians, people that are walking and get hit by a car. And what I'm going to share with you, I am not trying to be funny. I am not trying to be cute. And I'm not going out of my way to sound controversial, but I think there may be some truth to what I'm about to share with you. And when I share this uncomfortable, what did Al Gore say? When I share this inconvenient truth, you can call in and let me know your thoughts on this. All right, at 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631. So he says there's a racial disparity in pedestrians killed in traffic accidents, and I think he very well may be right. And this is the part that I don't want you guys to think I'm being funny or cute about or going out of my way to be controversial. I think African Americans as a group jaywalk more than white people. And when I travel through areas that are African American neighborhoods, I see people jaywalking a lot more than in my neighborhood. Okay, and I think there's a similar component. So there very well may be a higher likelihood of African Americans that are pedestrians being hit by cars because there's a higher rate of jaywalking, not using the crosswalks. Just like Steve, we used to talk a lot about this. When it comes to the tragedy of drownings, there's a lot of now we haven't talked about this in a while, so I don't know what the current statistics are, but we used to do a lot on children dying in swimming pools and things like this years ago. And there was a racial disparity among African Americans versus white children were drowning in higher numbers because African American children were less likely at a young age to know how to swim. And
it's deeper than that. I mean, the fact is that basically African Americans didn't have pools.
Well, that's true, and still would drown.
Yeah, it's the whole thing with Buttigieg is he lives in a world known as a victim.
Well, here's the thing, okay? I want to open up the phones to this, okay? About and we can throw in the swimming pool thing to get it, to mix in both. But last week, I was down in Fort Lauderdale on my MAGA scooter, and I went through you okay, Steve? Okay, you can let me know so I can turn the mic off. Okay, next time you do that. I was driving through Lauderdale Lakes. I took 441, from Hollywood all the way up to Boca. So I went through Lauderdale Lakes, that area of Plantation and everything, which is a Sunrise, which is an African American community. And pretty much constantly there were people jaywalking in front of me through that whole route. I get up into Coral Springs, I get up into Parkland, I get up into Market. There's less jaywalking, and I think the reason that you have such a large number of young African American children who can't swim. I've never had a swimming pool at my home in my life. I don't have a swimming pool now, and I didn't growing up, and I'm white as can be, but I know how to swim. I think the reason that there are so many African Americans who don't know how to swim. Watch Survivor. You watch Survivor, and they do swimming challenges. They'll have black contestants that are the most athletic men you've ever seen. They look like pro football players. They can't swim all the time, and they'll talk about it. And the reason there's so much jaywalking in the African American community, which increases the rate of being hit by a car, is the lack of. You sure you're okay? Let me know when you're done. Okay, I'll cut your mic for a while. I'll bring you back after the break, Steve. The live radio people, you never know what will happen. Has my train of thought been lost yet by you guys? The reason that you have so many African Americans who don't learn to swim and the reason you have so many that are jaywalking in higher numbers than other communities is because the lack of two-parent households, where in a two-parent household, a lot of these things are taught. My daughter, from a very young age, I taught her look both ways. You look left, you look right, you look left again, and then you cross. You don't jaywalk, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, Mayor Pete may be right in that there's a higher rate of pedestrian death in the African American community, but his conclusion is that it's somehow racist. I don't know what that means. Are they drivers targeting that? No. It's the reason is lack of two-parent households. Over 80% of African Americans, according to the most recent statistics, are born in a home without a mother and a father, with just a single parent. And if mom or grandma is raising a child, they're very busy working, and a lot of these things they don't have time to teach the kids. So I'll throw that out to you. So in a way, is Don Jr. or is Mayor Pete right? We're going to get to Don Jr. after the break, but in a way, is Mayor Pete right about pedestrian accidents and African Americans? Let me know your thoughts on that at 1-888-GO-CANE-1. I know that's a crazy question to ask, but his conclusion, of course, is completely wrong. But I can accept that there are probably among African American pedestrians a higher rate of accidents because of the jaywalking. Let me know what you guys think. 1-888-GO-CANE-1. We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-CANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Brian Craig here. How would you like a free doorbell camera? You get a doorbell camera. You get a doorbell camera. And you get a doorbell camera. Wish I had them for everyone, but the first 42 oldest channel listeners who call 1-888-2350 will get a free doorbell camera that connects directly to your cell phone with installation at your Sloman Shield. You can see your home right from the top of your campus. That's not all. Sloman is going to give you a free customized home security system and professional installation. The low cost Parler, so you're getting an LED touchscreen pad, a motion detector, AR cameras, and backup battery. Plus, you're one of the first 40 Trilogy channels. Dial 1-888-5050. Call Slogan's now. Time offer at 1-888-283-5050.
Received our My Pillow 2.0 that we ordered with Kane. The other day, buy one get one free, and they're our first My Pillows, and we love them. We absolutely love them. They're just absolutely marvelous. Yeah, I'm so glad. I got slippers on the way too.
Go to mypillow.com and use our promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E, and buy your My Pillow 2.0. Right now, buy one, get one free. You can also order by phone, toll free, 800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane. Experience awe-inspiring landscapes and traverse the great Canadian Rocky Mountains on the
Rocky Mountaineer Train with bi-level glass dome coaches, August 15th through the 20th. The only passenger rail service that runs on the historic rail route connecting Canada from east to west. Are you ready to embark on this unforgettable journey? Head to BrianTrain.com and request a brochure. Book your spot now and make memories that will last a lifetime. That's BrianTrain.com and request your brochure.
This is Lori Kane. When people go to the dentist, they think of the pain, but the biggest pain is the cost. Not with Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental Care. The dental work is painless, and the prices are painless too.
Last commercial, and we'll be right back.
954-922-4633. 954-922-4633. That's 954-922-4633. BrightonDentalCare.com.
95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM. Hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at TrueOldiesFLA.com.
All right. Callers on hold, stand by. Steve, you back with us? Well, let me finish what we're doing here. You know, Mother's Day is right around the corner. In fact, it's Sunday, May 14th. It's going to be here faster than you think. Now, I have some good news and some bad news. I'm going to give you the bad news first. It's Monday, and that means Anne Marie's in Pompano, where all the food, that fine, delicious Italian food, is homemade with grandma's recipes. They are closed on Mondays. But here's the good news. They're open tomorrow, and what a great Mother's Day it would be to take mom out for a homemade Italian dinner or lunch, because they're open for lunch on Mother's Day at Anne Marie's. Now, Sunday, May 14th is Mother's Day, and it will be here quick. And tomorrow when they reopen, you might want to call Anne Marie's and see if you can reserve a table. Let me give you the number, 954-889-6600. 954-889-6600. Tell them you want to come in for Mother's Day and ask them, can I make a reservation? Can I reserve a table? And if mom can't make it in, you can also get takeout on Mother's Day and bring it home and serve a homemade Italian meal from Anne Marie's at home as well. 954-889-6600. All right, call us on hold, stand by. You're back with us, Steve?
I just wanted to point out about the direction you're taking the show. That basically what the story is what the story always is. Life is divided. When you live in the United States and it comes to politics, there's victims and there's voters. And the idea is to turn voters into victims so you can get their vote. And that's all that's going on here with the Buttigieg. He's just kind of taking that simple political reality and trying people like he always does.
That's what he does. That's what he does. Yeah, he's a creep.
Wouldn't waste a lot of time on him.
No, well, everyone's talking about it today, and I think he's on to something somewhat. All right, now listen, let's take some calls. Our number 1-888-GU, Kane 1. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning.
Hey, Richie.
Good morning. Yeah, hi, Brian. Hi, Steve. I'm going to have to attack Brian this morning. As much as I hate to, because here's a guy, he always talks about me sitting on the couch in my house, never getting out. Oh, he spent his life in a radio studio, and he gets out on a scooter and he makes a judgment, like he said. First of all, Brian, let me say this to you. I'm from New York City, okay? Everybody jaywalks, and Steve will tell you that. The whole world jaywalks in New York City. The fact of the matter is, as a bus driver for 32.5 years and had been out on the street for 32.5 years going into black community, black people spend more time on the street. Maybe it's because they don't have the air conditioners, but they're on the street.
Okay.
Neighborhood during the day, you could go through your neighborhood during the day and you will see just the lawn guys cutting lawns and the garbage pickups and everything. You don't see people hanging out on the street. You go through a black neighborhood, they're out there all day long.
What's he talking about?
Stores, everything. So the bottom line is this. I believe it's not just that. It's a thing that, and I drove at night in the dark, in dark places, off of Sunrise Boulevard. Black people, whether you like, it might sound terrible, when they're wearing dark clothing in dark, shadowy places, cannot be seen at night.
Okay, so let's slow down. So you agree that Mayor Pete is somewhat right, that there is a higher rate of pedestrian fatalities among African Americans, and you think it's hard to see black people crossing the street at night. Yeah.
Any bus driver out there in the dark, I'm talking about in areas that are not well lit, to see a black person in a hoodie and dark clothes, it's like you don't see them. I'm telling you. I mean, so that could be the reason, but it's not because of jaywalking.
Well, well, I think we may have a mix of things here. I think jaywalking is high. There's a higher rate of jaywalking in low income neighborhoods. Okay, and yeah.
Also in low neighborhoods.
Yeah. So Mayor Pete is right, possibly, that there's a higher rate of African American accidents, people hit as African American pedestrians, but his conclusion is that it's racism is causing this, is what's off.
Could be traffic lights in the neighborhoods. There's not as many traffic lights in black neighborhoods, believe it or not. You can go for miles and not see a red light or blue.
Really? I've never noticed that.
Yeah.
Black neighborhoods have fewer stoplights?
Exactly. You'll see accidents in our local news.
That's a new one.
When kids get hit, they want to put traffic lights in, and the neighborhood goes crazy because they're in dark areas or they're in speed places where it's.
Why do you believe? I've never noticed what you're saying. I'm not saying what you're saying is true, but you're a former bus driver, so you would know. Why do you think there were fewer stoplights in black neighborhoods? Well, why would that be?
I think that's a racist thing too. Why are there fewer air conditioners? And there is a lower income area. The politicians don't give a damn about people.
The Democrats.
Money and can't. Yeah, and people don't have money and won't elect them.
Okay.
If you're going to be a donator, you're going to get anything you want, and in life. You give money to any party, and all of a sudden they're going to have. If you wanted to put a fire hydrant in front of your house, and you gave heavily to the mayor and everyone else, you'd have that fire.
Oh yeah. My streets in my community needed paving, and I contacted the state representative for my area, and he said, "Well, I don't handle the roads. You got to call the county commissioner." He lived down the street. He lived in the next development over. I said, "Come over to my street." I told him where I live. You tell me that if this street was your street looked like my street, that you wouldn't get it paved. And I can't. And that was like in the middle of the week. I came home on Monday, and the street pavers not only were paving my community, they started in front of my house. I couldn't believe it. It was crazy. All right, Richie, take care. All right, so we got a little more clarity on that. Our number 1-888-COCAINE-1. There's one thing I want to mention, Steve, before we break, because we don't have too much time. And then after the bottom of the hour break, we'll come back. I've got some more issues, and we can take some more calls. Don Jr., a lot of MAGA people are attacking Don Jr. today and yesterday, because over the weekend on his podcast, Don Jr. has a podcast. It's called Triggered. It's the same name as his book. He said that the Bud Light boycott should end. And a lot of MAGA people are attacking Don Jr. Now, first off, Don Jr., I would argue that if anyone is going after Don Jr. who's MAGA, Don Jr. not only has been put through more than you could imagine because of who his father is by these liberals, that he's going to have a lifetime of punishment from these leftist, uniparty, never Trumper lunatics, okay? So if you're upset at Don Jr., which you should not be, by the way, you got to give the guy a pass for everything that he's going through, and will go through, because he's the father of our greatest president ever, he's the son of our greatest president ever, Donald Trump. But here's the thing, okay? There was that audio that I played on the show last week of a local Anheuser-Busch merchandiser who said no one's buying, the local convenience stores and local grocery stores aren't buying the Bud Light, and he gets a commission, so it's affecting his salary. He says he may not be able to feed his kids if this continues. Someone in our live stream chat room during the break said that they know a stalker at a convenience store, and the convenience stores are hurting over Bud Light. And I think what Don Jr. is saying is a Bud Light boycott is not hurting the Bud Light corporate guys as much as you think. It's having a more immediate impact at the local level, the merchandisers, the local convenience stores, the local bars, they're the ones that are being hurt by this boycott. The guy that runs Anheuser-Busch, who was a CIA guy, came out over the weekend. He was a CIA recruiter. And once you're CIA, you're always CIA. So basically, Anheuser-Busch is a CIA company. This guy isn't all of a sudden flying commercial and giving up the private jet, okay? But the local people are getting hit, punished by this. So I think Don Jr. made some good points about that. I'm not buying Bud Light, but I wouldn't be buying it anyway. But those of you that are giving Don Jr. a hard time, think about that. Look at what this guy's gone through. Look at what they've done to him. They bring him up to testify in front of Congress. This guy never did anything wrong. Hunter, he never gets questioned. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Steve is here. We'll take our bottom of the hour break. Our number, 1-888-GO-KANE, 1-888-465-2631. Back right after this.
Making morning radio great again.
The greatest rock and roll hits of the 60s and 70s coming up this morning.
Okay.
Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture, Route 1 Seminole Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture, voted in the best of the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
And now, a True Oldies traffic check, brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Welcome, everyone. There's over 1,000 people in the live stream. If you're new, make sure you subscribe, everyone.
Service of Palm Beach Kennel Club. BBKC has the best derby party south of Churchill Downs. Kentucky Derby Fest is coming up May 6th. Check out the on-track party with jumbo screen, live music from Sip and Fire and the Connected, derby hat contest, barbecue food tent, bars, mint juleps, fun activities, and True Oldies will be there with great handicapping tips and prizes. Vatican Terrace will also feature derby buffets. For info, go to bbkennelclub.com.
Brian Craig here. When it comes time to get my blood work done, I don't have time to spend hours in the doctor's office or waiting hours for one of those big labs. That's why I use New Lab Test Now program. New Lab Test Now Cold Springs. All of my lab techs are highly skilled and professional, and the prices are guaranteed to be the lowest on lab work you'll find anywhere. Appointments aren't necessary. Doctor's orders and prescriptions, they're not needed either. I'm in and out in 15 minutes or less. I get the results the next day in my email box. And they also send to my doctor. There's lots of any lab test styles around, but these are the only two advertising on our radio station. Don't use the rest. Only go to any lab test now of Boca, any lab test now of course.
Yeah, the reason I bring that up, because a lot of people are attacking Don Jr. I talked about on the podcast last night. It's getting worse. You shouldn't be attacking Don Jr. I know you guys let me know what you think about that, but can you imagine what he goes through? Don Jr.? Oh, my goodness. The lady has not been fired.
immediately. Then call Tom Reporter. New laws are in effect that allow Tom to negotiate directly with your insurance company on the cost of all repairs. You need a public adjuster or a lawyer. Tom can handle any type of roofing job too. Residential roofing repair, commercial office buildings, emergency repairs. It's roofing. Tom Reporter.
The Steve Kane Show. Hold on.
Have you tried the Bloomer CBD drinks yet?
I have not tried those yet.
Okay, so I got them last night. I got margarita. I had that. I didn't mix any tequila. I was good last night, but I slept like a dream and I felt great this morning. Like I had no joint inflammation, nothing. They have Bloody Mary, Pina Colada, Strawberry Daiquiri, Margarita, and Frosé. And I think you can buy them on their website, bloomersfrosé.com. And I think Frosé is Frose. They're sold in a lot of the liquor stores in town that carry CBD products, maybe like Crown or ABC. I slept great, and my joints were like not inflamed at all. Everything was made with fruit juices. They were vegan. They were gluten-free. They were great. Yeah, CBD is legal under the Farm Act, and it's sold everywhere. For everybody who's taking the gummy, take a drink.
You know what? This sounds perfect for me. I'm going to bloomersfrosé.com.
This is the last commercial, then we'll be back.
Now back to the Steve Kane Show, celebrating 45 years on the air.
All right, we're back. I'm Brian. You back with us, Steve? Yeah.
To get our regular Steve Kane Show Triple Crown Handicapper organized for this week's, this is the Derby, I guess, this first leg of the Triple Crown. And we're going to try to get you your picks out. With the move and everything, it took us a little longer to get organized. But we will have those by Friday. So
I think that the Derby, I think the Derby, I just looked it up, is May 6th. So I think it's a week, it's a weekend after this coming weekend.
I think so.
It says May 6th. And I know this week, this is still April because my birthday's coming up. So it's Saturday, May 6th.
First Saturday in May.
Well, we're 2 weeks away. So it's going to be a week from Saturday is the Derby.
Okay, let's hope our handicapper is better organized than we are. But
Yes.
I promise you we'll have those before post time.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, let's go back to the phone. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's Renee from Harlem.
Hey, Renee.
Yeah, so you've been spouting a lot of nonsense. First of all, you're claiming that black people can't swim, right?
No, I didn't say that. That's not what I said at all.
Yeah,
let me tell you,
That's what he's
jaywalking,
doesn't matter what you said,
can't
but that
swim.
is what his prepared answer is.
this is
The answer.
yeah.
Pretending.
Then I'll tell you what I really said.
You want me to talk or you just want to talk on top of me?
Not especially since you asked.
Shut up, all right? Let me say something, okay? Simone Manuel, did she win?
I don't know. I don't know who that is.
You don't know? Yeah, of course you don't know, because you're not very smart. She's a black woman.
Yeah, Greg Louganis is gay. I didn't say black people could not swim. What I said was, listen, hold on a second. Renee, this is we may save lives today on this program. Steve and I have talked about this issue over the years and not for a long time. And Renee, if white privilege exists, can I please invoke it so I can get a sentence out to you? Okay. In Florida, we have sadly more drownings of young children than most other places in the country because No, I want to hear what you're going to say, but I want to respond to something that you said, but you have to stop talking and listen, okay? In Florida, because you don't stop talking. I apologize for speaking while you're interrupting.
Brian, he's a victim of the.
You don't want to hear what I have to say.
I do want to hear what you have to say. But you said we were talking about the drownings with African American children, and this is an important point, and we could save lives, and you could be a part of saving lives, in particular young African American lives, and I know you want to do that. In Florida, in Florida, yeah, exactly. In Florida, we have more drownings of young children than most other places in the country. All right, I'm going to have to mute you because I'm going to get this out, okay? We're here till 9. I can do this all day, okay? We have a higher rate of drowning in Florida with children than other states because we have year-round good weather and swimming pools. There has historically been a higher rate of young people drowning who are African American as opposed to white. And the reason that is because of the lack of family structure, the lack of two-parent households. Most African American children are born in single-parent households. They don't learn to swim as often as non-African American children, and that's why there's a higher rate of drowning among Black children. Black people can swim. My daughter's Black, and she swims better than me, okay? In fact, my daughter, we went to the Rapids Water Park down the street from the radio station. I came off a water slide. My daughter had to save me, okay? And she swims better than me. Next, go on, Renee.
Daughter, buddy. That's not your daughter.
I know you want to get hung up on, so you want to attack my child, but it's not going to work quite yet.
You're attacking everybody's kids, and you don't even have your own.
Okay.
Look who's talking.
Yes, I know. All right.
Calling kettle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, now that you're able to talk, dazzle the audience with your brilliance. Let's go, Renee.
Well, you are an idiot and a racist and you're a hypocrite.
Mm-hmm.
You lie constantly.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to talk on top of me every step of the way, but that's how you people are.
What do you mean? You people? What do you mean, you people?
You people. What do I mean?
Who are you people? Like, what type of people? White people?
You, the Zimmermans, the racists, people like you.
The Zimmermans? Is that like code word for Jews?
Oh, man, you're stupid. Don't you live in Florida? Who shot Trayvon Martin?
George Zimmerman.
Well, guess what? That's your people.
Okay.
Okay.
Now that you're able to talk, come on.
You don't think you're smart. You're not very smart.
Renee to say something cute. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, he's devolving live on the air right now, Steve. He's cracking up, Renee.
You haven't heard a word I said.
I've heard everything you've said.
You haven't heard a word I said.
Well, let's go. Make your case.
I have, but you've been talking.
In fact, if George Zimmerman, back then it was very controversial on this show, I was in favor of George Zimmerman being convicted of the murder of Trayvon Martin, okay? And it was a minority opinion in many circles, but I was not in favor of George Zimmerman. I think he should be in prison. And I was very vocal at the time about it.
Oh, I don't believe you.
That's true. Remember, Steve, the listeners were giving me a lot of grief over that.
I'll bet they were.
So I was on your side with Zimmerman.
Thank you for that.
Okay, yeah. A lot of people did. Some people did.
I know they do. They still do. And they hate you for that. But you don't really disagree with Zimmerman at all. Because that's your people.
What does that mean?
You're just as racist as he is. That's what I mean.
Why would a racist adopt a Black child?
That's a good question.
Maybe I'm not a racist.
You are a racist. Where's the father?
You're speaking to the father. Oh, my goodness. I'm right here, Renee.
Well, do you know her father?
Yes, I know myself. I am my daughter's father. Yes.
You're not her biological father.
Well, I'm not her biological father, but I am her father. So why would a racist adopt and raise a black child. In fact, in my daughter's case, listen to this. I only have one child, my daughter. Every descendant of me forever will be a descendant of color. There'll be no white Craigs in the future. When my African American family 100 years from now look back on photo albums of the family, they're going to see this white guy in a MAGA hat, probably. Why would I make a decision that my entire family line of descendants forever would not be white if I'm a racist, Renee?
Look, dude, why did
Confused? No, Thomas Jefferson had children who I've got one child, a daughter. She will carry on the family line. I have no other children, and I will not have any other children. If I'm a racist, why would I make a decision to make sure that all of my descendants are non-white forever?
That's not going to happen.
Yeah, it is. My daughter will have children, and they will not be white. He's confused, Steve. Yeah. I mean, am I abusing a mentally challenged person?
You're talking to an idiot. You know,
Steve, if we didn't take calls from idiots, who'd we be talking to?
you can't make a silk purse out of a.
No, I think I brought. Yeah, I have from you many times. No. Well, actually, I wasn't talking to Renee. I was talking to the listening audience, and I think I made a very good point. He's just illogical. He's just a racist. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
James from Boca.
Hey, Boca.
Hey, well, there's a couple things I'd like to hit on today. The one is the last caller, and if everybody could just drop the color thing, because this is what the government wants from us. We're all human beings. But yes, there are more single mothers.
Every time I hear this, every time I watch a lot of talk radio, obviously, every time I hear it, you can't go 5 minutes without all this whining and complaining and racial crap. So, are we ever going to get rid of this? Ever?
Not as long as the Democrats are around.
The one thing I wanted to say is that racism, is it learned or is it earned?
Is it learned or is it earned? I don't know.
I traveled America for 20 years, and
listen. It's a mix. It's a mix. Okay, but I'll tell you about Renee. Okay, just to sum up Renee from Harlem. Renee from Harlem's a loser. Okay, he's a bum. He's got nothing going on. And as opposed to sitting around and saying, I've made a lot of life choices and I'm a bum in some dumpy apartment all by myself, he's got to blame the racism of American society for all of his failings. So that's where that comes from him. It could be both. You can teach someone to be a racist. Sure.
But all right, so on my part of earned is I traveled America, every major city, every small town. I've had the gun pulled on me multiple times. Been robbed a few times. And I hate to really say it, but it's all been black men.
Okay. Well, I guess you've been driving through some black neighborhoods then, with black criminals. I don't know. Listen, we're up against the break. It's time to take our last break of the hour. I will remind you and the audience that white people do commit crimes too. Maybe not against him, but we're getting both. We're getting both spectrums of the racism meter today: the white perspective from that guy and the black perspective on racism from Renee. We'll be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
Just because you're getting older doesn't mean you have to feel older. This is Brian Craig, and I want to tell you about my anti-aging doctor.
Steve Kane Show. Hold on. Steve Kane Show. Hold on.
Hormone replacement pellet therapy is all natural. What it does is restore your hormones to where they were when you were in your 20s. You'll feel younger. You'll have more energy.
Oh my goodness.
Hormone replacement pellet therapy completely stops and reverses all the signs of losing blood balls. Loose winks gone. Night sweats gone. I've met listeners before and after hormone replacement pellet therapy with Dr. Matez, and when I first meet him, they're like Joe Biden, and no one wants to be like him. And then I meet him again after they began hormone replacement pellet therapy, and they have their energy back, just like Trump. They're standing up tall, and they feel years younger. Now, it's always a free consultation with Dr. Matez when you tell him you heard about him on the radio. 561-320-8893. 561-320-8893.
Making any kind of health and lifestyle changes can feel overwhelming, and at One Life Health and Performance, we don't want you to have to do it alone. Our dedicated team of medical professionals include our physician, Ken Winard, certified health coaches, medical estheticians, and patient care coordinators. At One Life Health and Performance, our team of dedicated medical professionals work side by side with you to create a customized plan. Look and feel your best for years to come. Visit us online to learn more. OneLifeHealthAndPerformance.com. Trust One Life Health and Performance to have you looking your best. Offering Botox and dermal fillers, laser services for skin texture, sunspots, and age spots, or tattoo removal, rejuvenating skincare procedures like microneedling with PRP and Exomes Kybella liquid.
Well, he was getting, Renee was getting very confused. You know, I'll have no white descendants, you know, and that just didn't compute with what he was saying, right?
This is Steve Kane. I want to tell you about my favorite restaurant in all of South Florida, Wings Plus in Coral Springs. Wings just the way you like them.
Oh, during that George Zimmerman thing, I was the only person in this audience that was saying he should go to prison. You know, and people were pissed. Oh my goodness, I was getting calls from people for months. People were really angry. But he, you know, see, Renee racially stereotypes people. Since I'm a white MAGA guy, obviously I support George Zimmerman. That's insane. But he's racially stereotyping me. By the way, Renee, you know, is watching on YouTube. Everyone say hello to Renee since he's in the live stream. Say hi, Renee. All right.
The social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane.
All right, we are back. Callers on hold, stand by. I'm Brian. Steve Kane is here. Now, this weekend, I spent the entire weekend cleaning out the garage. You know, now that my daughter's grown up and moved out, my wife and I were decluttering, and I can't believe how much stuff I had in my garage, Steve. And I just spent the whole weekend cleaning out the garage, taking these huge boxes down and throwing away big pieces of furniture and things that were stacked up in the garage. And I couldn't have done that if it was not for Dr. Appleton, my chiropractor. You know, I went to see him a week ago this past Friday. I was suffering from massive shoulder pain. After just one treatment with Dr. Appleton's laser away pain treatment, I woke up the next morning. I was completely out of pain. It has not returned. And I was doing a lot of physical labor around the house yesterday and the day before, all weekend long, and the pain has not returned. Dr. Appleton is a chiropractic physician. His laser away pain treatment works. You do not have to live with pain. Don't just accept that that's the way your life is, that it's part of aging. Call Dr. Appleton and go and speak to him about his laser away pain treatment. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonChiro.com. All right, Stevie, you want to go to the phones? What do you want to do? All right, let's go back to the phones. Well, okay, the 87 people on hold, you know. Hey, good morning, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian and Steve. It's Andrea.
Hey, Andrea.
How are you today?
I'm hanging in there, Steve. How are you?
I'm hanging in myself.
This is my prediction, and I don't do this often. The next time Renee calls, my guess is Renee is the product of a single mother, because no man who was raised with a father in the household would have the type of brainwashed mentality that he has. That is 100% all woman installed. He was raised by a single mother. I would be willing to bet $100 on it.
You know, I was raised by a single mother. I'm not angry. I'm not griping.
Well, so was I. But
okay.
I had a.
It's simpler. It's simpler. Renee is a bum. His life hasn't turned out the way he thinks it should, and people reject personal responsibility. It's much easier to blame others for your failings as opposed to taking personal responsibility, and that's what's going on with Renee.
Well, I think it's funny that he would come on and attack you and call you stupid, right? Or, yeah, he called you stupid. He lives in a Democrat city that's being run into the ground by the very people that he voted for. And he's not attacking Mayor Pete, who's the real racist, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The mentality.
I wouldn't assume he lives in Harlem, by the way. I'm not saying he doesn't live in New York, but Harlem, Bill Clinton turned Harlem into a white neighborhood. And I wouldn't be so sure he lives in Harlem. I think he just says that to try to give some more personality. You know who Renee from Harlem could be, because Renee's not his real name. And I mean this. I really, truly mean this. There have been celebrity callers that have called this show over the years. Who used to call you, Steve? Esther Roll, the mother on Good Times, called Steve a few times. It is very, yeah. Esther Roll, who was the mother on Good Times, did not like Steve Kane, that's for sure. And she called in and would let him know about it. Renee from Harlem very well could be Spike Lee from Harlem, who's calling in under this name, because Spike Lee, you know how he feels. I've heard him talk about the turning of Harlem into a white neighborhood. He's very upset that there's coffee shops and dog parks and stuff, and his dad can't play jazz all day and night on the saxophone and wake everybody up and disturb the peace. He very well could be Spike Lee from Harlem calling us. It's possible.
Well, it is possible, but I just want to say, good for you and your wife for choosing to give a child a good life.
Yes.
So, good for the both of you.
All right.
What's most important.
All right. All right. Take care. I do want to play one thing. This is from MSNBC over the weekend. Ron DeSantis did something amazing last week. Okay. He did. As bad as he is, as much of a traitor as he is, he did an incredible thing last week. He signed into law the 6-week abortion ban in Florida. The Florida state legislature last week passed the 6-week abortion ban in Florida. There are no abortions in Florida after the 6th week unless the pregnancy is the product of rape or incest. And incest is also probably a rape, right? However, Ron DeSantis added something to that, which made it really good. You just can't say you were raped or, your uncle got you pregnant. You have to have documentation proving it, which means like a police report. Okay. So that is some really hardcore pro-life legislation he signed into law last week, Ron DeSantis. So we got to give him props on that. And that's a good thing he did. And, Florida was quickly becoming an abortion tourism state because we had, I think it was a 10-week ban. The 6-week ban is Steve, I never thought such things would happen. And so far as having to show documentation for rape or incest, this is a big thing. Norma McCorvey, the Roe v. Wade lady, she said that she was impregnated through a rape, and they had an exception. That case was in 73. That Roe v. Wade case started with her in Texas. Texas, you couldn't get an abortion unless it was rape or incest. So Norma McCorvey said she was raped. She wasn't. She just said it, okay, which would give you the okay to get in. So Ron DeSantis signed this law. You just can't say you were raped. You just can't say you're impregnated through incest. You have to have proof, which would obviously require a police report. So that's that's amazing what he did. Well, over the weekend, Steve, MSNBC just had a meltdown over this. They had all these New York liberals on MSNBC, and they're very upset that children are going to be born in the state of Florida. Millions of children over the course of time will be born because of these restrictions. Now, Donald Trump did this. This is amazing. Donald Trump overturned Roe v. Wade and left it up to the states, and the states are making rulings. I think California passed a new law okaying abortion up until the 38th year of life. But good states like Florida are putting these 6-week bans, which 6 weeks, that's a long time, man. If you don't know by 6 weeks, come on. What do you mean?
Issue has been a disaster for us.
Not at all.
Most recent election.
We won the midterms.
In my opinion, you can say that all you want to, and I don't agree with that perspective.
Pelosi's not the speaker.
I think we fell short of expectations. I think we can play with numbers all we want, but the fact is, with the pro forces of pro-choice, if I use that term advisedly, what they do and what they have been doing and what they will continue to do is count on confusion.
No.
Blur the issue. To continue to do that, I'm very worried about the upcoming.
Steve, listen, abortion is not why we didn't perform as well as we would have liked, even though we won the midterms. I think we didn't perform as well because Fox News and the rest of the media had blackouts on the Trump rallies when he was endorsing these candidates.
The bottom line is we could have done. I saw it coming.
Not because of abortion. That's like a big issue with conservatives, Steve. That's huge. Well, let me play this clip from MSNBC. On MSNBC over the weekend, they were in meltdowns over the 6-week abortion ban in Florida. Listen to MSNBC yesterday.
What we have going on here is all eyes are on the Supreme Court, who is looking at one of the most, anticipated abortion-related cases since the overturning of Roe v. Wade in June, Katie.
And later, one woman says being pregnant in Florida is like a death sentence. How the state's abortion rollbacks are putting women's lives in harm's way. What are your constituents saying about a 6-week abortion ban in the state of Florida?
They're saying that it's too much. They're saying that the state of Florida, we're doing way too much as government overreach. And when you look at what just happened with Anya and Shanae, what we're noticing is that that's the reality. Black women are going to die.
Yeah.
Black women are going to die in Florida because they can't get abortions. I don't know what that means or what they're saying there on MSNBC. But no, Steve, I think we didn't. Yeah.
Well, you say you don't understand what they're saying. It's clear what they're saying, not necessarily to give validity to their position, but basically what they're saying is that if this law goes through,
it did.
They're going to get up there. They're going to tell during the campaign. They're going to have these big rallies, and they're going to tell all women, if you vote for the Democrats, for abortion.
Yeah. Well, we did. Well, and no, I'm telling you, I know what you're talking about. That's like I hear that on Fox News, right? That the abortion is why we didn't do as well. The reason we didn't do as well in the midterms is because they had a blackout on carrying the Trump rallies, which were each rally was endorsing candidates in these local states, and the media didn't cover it.
You said it's going to be better next time, but they haven't done anything to change that.
Well, let's open up the phones to that. I mean, I think you couldn't be more wrong about that. But our number, maybe I'm wrong. We'll find out. Our number is 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631. I think President Trump's greatest accomplishment, and I think this will carry on to his second term. I think President Trump's greatest accomplishment is overturning Roe v. Wade. No one thought it could be done. He appointed perfect justices to the court and did it. Millions of babies will be born from now and forever because of President Trump. And I think that's something that we should continue to be very prideful of and talk about as much as possible. That's just me. But our number, 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631. I don't know why Karl Rove on Fox is so obsessed with abortion. He's obsessed with abortion, this guy. He's a hired something. All right, we'll take our break for the top. When we come back, we'll take some more calls, and there's some other topics we have not touched on yet. And feel free to call in about anything we've brought up in the last 2 hours. It's the Steve Kane Show. Steve's here. I'm Brian. Back after this break.
WWNN Palmetto Beach. WIRK-HD3 Indiantown. Programming paid for by Vic Canales Media Group. Broadcasting from the Rogue Studio. Injured recently? Call the Rogue Law Group, where winning is a habit. 561-570-5700.
Oh, my goodness.
561-570-5700. Rogues, winning for you and our community. Your home for the Steve Kane Show. From the Palm Beach Patio Furniture Weather Center, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created, here's the oldies forecast.
Good morning, everybody. Hope you're doing well on this Monday after a saturated Sunday night. The rain continuing to
Oh, my goodness.
Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Route 1 Seminole Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Voted in the best of the best.
Brian knows all stop. What do you mean all stop? What does the all stop mean?
Where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
And
Well, it looks like the weather's cleared up here. It's nice out.
Traffic is service of Palm Beach Kennel Club. BBKC has the best derby party south of Churchill Downs. Kentucky Derby Fest is coming up May 6th. Check out the on-track party jumbo screen, live music from Sip and Fire and the Connected, derby hat contest, barbecue food tent, bars, mint juleps, fun activities, and true oldies will be there with great handicapping tips and prizes. The Vatican Terrace will also feature derby buffets. For info, go to pbkennelclub.com. Here's your true oldies ABC news update. Now, I'm Mark Remillard. The U.S. Supreme Court is expected to rule Wednesday on the legality of an abortion pill that's been on the market for decades.
Yeah, a lot of trolls today. That's okay. Matt Gaetz would be a good governor, but Don Jr. would be better. I'd like to keep Gaetz in D.C. He's like one of our most vocal people in D.C. You know. But if he ran for governor, obviously I'd support him. But
Jay O'Brien, the Massachusetts Air National Guardman accused of secrets online, is expected to be back in court on Wednesday amid case of violence in Sudan between the military and a powerful paramilitary group. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is calling for order to be restored, and local officials say in 2 days fighting, nearly 100 civilians have been killed. This is ABC.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Granger, offering professional-grade industrial supplies, plus real-time product availability and access to experts ready to answer your toughest questions. Call clickgranger.com.
Donna Brazil, I don't know. Was she on CNN now? Yeah, President Trump didn't have any government experience either till he got elected.
Celebrate all my special FA Chardonnay is the I choose that outlet and I need FA Chardonnay. Over 30 years, others drank elegant, warm, and second. FA Chardonnay breakfast local farm produce. Just caught for leaders. FA Chardonnay partners farmers, ranchers, provide the highest quality ingredients that Frank's talent combines these specialties. Create a rich, novel, exciting. Sure to enjoy a glass of wine from Chardonnay led to
Making any health and lifestyle changes can feel overwhelming, and at One Life Health and Performance, we don't want you to have to do it alone. Our dedicated team of medical professionals, including our physician Ken Menard, certified health coaches,
Oh boy.
at One Life Health and us online to learn more. OneLifeHealthAndPerformance.com. Trust One Life Health and Performance to have you looking and feeling your best. Offering medical weight loss plans, peptide therapy, personalized health plans by Dr. Ken Winnard, hormone replacement therapy, IV therapy, and more. Visit OneLifeHealthAndPerformance.com today to learn how you can make your dreams of looking and feeling great a reality. OneLifeHealthAndPerformance.com.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, we're back. I'm Brian. Steve Kane is here. It is Monday. You want to go back to the phone, Steve? What do you want to do? All right, let's go. Our number 1-888-GO-CANE 1-888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yeah, you're on the air.
Hey, Ryan, this is Dean calling from Boynton Beach. I want to talk about this abortion thing and how it impacted the midterm.
Mm-hmm.
Do agree, Steve, that it did a little bit impact the election and midterm. I also agree with you that the blackout that the media put on President Trump impacted significantly the midterm.
Mm-hmm.
But let me tell you something. Do we really want to reverse any ban the Republican states put on abortion so we can win bigger next time?
Exactly. Of course not.
Let's face it. Because they're going to bring a subject after a subject. They're going to move on from abortion to gun control to other subjects. And before we know it, Republican states are just doing the Democrat agenda because we want to win bigger next time.
That's correct.
I don't think we should move away from our beliefs, Republican beliefs, just because we want to win.
Well, this thing about abortion hurt us. This comes from Karl Rove on Fox News. He is obsessed with it. I don't know why. I can speculate in private, but he's got an obsession over abortion is a bad thing to be against if you're a Republican. That's been part of our party platform forever. You know, it could be much simpler than we think. Trump overturned Roe v. Wade, so Rove is in favor of abortions now. You know, Trump overturned Roe v. Wade. I didn't even think that was possible. Just like when he got the drilling in Anwar through. It's amazing that he did that. And he doesn't want Trump to get the credit for overturning Roe v. Wade, Karl Rove. That's probably the most likely possibility.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, these guys out there, as Trump says, we're going to whatever place. They're like, no, we're not going there just because he said we want to go there.
Correct.
So 100% agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to say that.
All right, Boynton Beach. All right, take care. You know, Steve, there was another shooting over the weekend. It was at Kansas City. You know, we have not been given, so far as I know, unless it's been updated since I've been on the air, but I was looking during the break. I couldn't see any updates. They've not told us anything about the shooter that they've arrested. We know nothing. Sex, age, nothing. And it's been a couple days since they've arrested this person, and they've released nothing.
Well, from what I have read about it over the last 24 hours, maybe a little more than that, is everybody involved is black.
And young. But we don't know about the shooter. They arrested someone, and they've told us nothing about the shooter. But I do know this. Well, they arrested the person.
Didn't happen in the days when I was growing up in Central Park West.
No. But the thing about it is, okay, we don't know anything about this shooter, and they've arrested the person. So when they keep things quiet after an arrest about any details, we don't even know the gender, the age, nothing. It tells me that whoever did it doesn't fit their narrative, and they don't want it out there. We've had some high-profile shootings lately. The most recent one was at the bank. Well, the one in Kentucky, right at the bank, that was a liberal, Trump-hating guy. The school, the Christian school in Nashville, that was a transgender shooter, another liberal. There was another one in Colorado in between those two that was stopped before it happened. There was a transgendered person who was planning a shooting. And then there's a new story in Florida that just came out a few days ago. Listen to this. This is in Hernando County, Florida. Listen to this. A transgender teacher at Fox Chapel Middle School in Hernando County, Florida, was reported to law enforcement for making alarming comments about harming themselves and shooting their students. This is insane. Parents are now speaking out in frustration after discovering that this teacher, who was clearly mentally ill, was allowed to continue teaching in the classroom after this happened. So they talked about suicide and killing their students. The school knew about it and left them in the classroom. And it turns out that this is another transgender person, biological man living as a woman. So we have this transgender teacher here in Florida who was talking in class to their students about killing themselves and their students. The school found out and left them in the school. Now, there's a lot of talk about gun control going on, and these mass shootings are god awful, but they seem to be the shooters. We don't know about Kansas City, but the bank, the Christian school, the one that was stopped before it happened in Colorado, and now this teacher here in Florida that was stopped before anything happened. Liberals and a lot of transgender people now. We got 3 high-profile incidents out of 4 that are transgender, biological men living as women. So there's obviously something going on with all these drugs and hormones and things that these people are being given. It's dry, it's almost like roid rage. You've heard of roid rage. It's almost like something's going on with all these things that they're doing. There's a problem here, Steve.
You're dealing with the hormones.
I guess so. Yeah. I mean, this is, and the reason that this school left the teacher there is because they didn't want to be called transphobic and fire the transgender teacher, even though they were talking about shooting themselves and their students. I mean, this is crazy. This is insane. Now, after the break, maybe we should talk a little bit about this Air Force kid that was arrested for the Ukrainian secrets, because there's some stuff about that. We talked about it on Friday, but there's some Air Force. He was in the Air Force. I don't know. The village people in the Navy. That's all I don't know. But he was in the Air Force. I don't know. But there's a few things about that we need to talk about. And then there's a big scandal involving Zelensky that was reported over the weekend, and the media. Well, yeah, when someone's involved in scandalous behavior, I would like them to be exposed. So we've got a lot to touch on when we get back from the break. Our number is toll free 1-888-GO-KANE 1-888-465-2631. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977, celebrating 46 years on the radio. I'm Brian Craig. Steve's here. We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
What if you could dine and be rewarded for doing so? Now you can.
Marriott Eat Around Town, where you can earn one loyalty points just for dining at Taco Grit Restaurant at the Then West Palm Hotel, one of the Marriott's Autograph collection. Points are awarded for individuals as well as group dining. For details, call Proper Grit at 561-461-0040. Use your points for future hotel stays anywhere in the Marriott system or towards various airline programs. We'll see you at the bed.
Oh, yeah. Have you guys seen this story on Zelensky? Holy smokes. Yeah, this story on Zelensky. Oh, my goodness.
Really lab work. Don't waste hours and hours waiting at the doctor's office or waiting for facts. For the mini lab test now with boycott, mini lab test now at Cold Springs. The prices are guaranteed to be the lowest you'll find anywhere. No appointment, doctor's order, or prescription. You're in and out in 15 minutes or less. They offer every lab and blood work your doctor can order.
The show's flown by today. It was tough getting in here today. The rain was so heavy. It was so dark. It was exhausting to get here. I was like, oh. It was so bad, I almost thought about having the radio station play a best of today.
We are an energy saving and insulation company. Make your home energy efficient, cut your electric bills up to 50%, and pay little or even nothing for the repairs. Make sure you get your fair share of the Inflation Reduction Act. Rebates up to $14,000 per year. Funds available on a first come, first served basis. Rebate programs for low or moderate income families up to $150,000 of income. $14,000 per year. This is huge. Use this money for insulation and radiant barriers, up to $2,800 available. Hybrid hot water heaters, up to $3,750 available. AC units, up to $10,000 available. Electric panel upgrades, up to $1,600. And after we reduce your home consumption by 35% or more, you get additional rebate money of $4,000 to $8,000 if you qualify. To find out how much you qualify for, call me 954-939-1500. That's 954-939-1500. Or go to cutmykilowatts.com and fill out the form.
Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM. Hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at TrueOldiesFLA.com.
All right, we're back. I'm Brian. Steve Kane is here. Yep.
Before we start,
Okay.
and I'm going to run this by you because I want to be fair to you.
Okay.
But it's very important that people understand what's going on here. You and I had several contacts this weekend. Is that correct?
We did talk. Yes.
Yes. And I was the one who called you, right?
Yes.
And the gist of what I told you, I'm just going to try to capitalize it so the audience will know the background. You told me that the spy story was no big thing. There were no new developments on it. It was not an interesting story.
That's not exactly what I said.
The opposite position there. I think it's a big story. I think it's a major story, and I think it's got to be focused on. And there are major problems that this reveals. Was my position. That's
okay.
It is. Until you heard the name Zelensky, your favorite name, Zelensky. Once you heard that Zelensky was tied to it, you lit up like a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Okay, oh, we got Zelensky now. So explain to me why this was no big thing before Zelensky, the article came into your hand, and now that Zelensky's involved, now it's
I'm going to tell you just that and answer exactly what you said. But first, I want to tell people about this incredible new offer that is back here. And this is the Sloman's free home security system and free doorbell camera with professional installation. And I'm so glad that this offer is back. You know, this free home security system and free doorbell camera with professional installation from Sloman's is a great, great thing to have. It makes you and your family secure and more safe than ever. Now, you can get a free doorbell camera if you're one of the first 40 listeners to call 833-283-5050. 833-283-5050. You get a free doorbell camera that connects directly to your cell phone with the installation of your Sloman's Shield. It's absolutely amazing, okay? Now, listen to this. You're going to get more than just that. You can get a free customized home security system and professional installation when you use Sloman's low-cost central station monitoring. You get an LED touchscreen pad, a motion detector, 3 armed doors, a backup battery, and if you're one of the first 40 listeners to call 833-283-5050, 833-283-5050, you'll receive a free doorbell camera with the installation of your Sloman's Shield. So call them right now, 833-283-5050. 833-283-5050. Okay, so call us on hold, stand by, and I'll tell you why. Zelensky's not involved in the spying, but this Air Force airman is a whistleblower. A whistleblower, just like Vindman was to the left. All right, yeah, he didn't get arrested, Vindman. He's a whistleblower. And what the classified documents showed was that U.S. military forces are on the ground in actual head-to-head combat against Russian soldiers.
really important after you find out Zelensky was.
Well, I knew Zelensky had a connection to it because it involves Ukraine, but there's a new story out about Zelensky that points out how important it is to use this whistleblower's information that he leaked out of the Pentagon and end this war in Ukraine. Seymour Hersh, who's an old-time liberal Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist who reported on that massacre in Vietnam that turned the tide against the war in Vietnam. He was the reporter who broke the story that even though Nixon said we were not and Kissinger said we were not, that the U.S. was bombing Cambodia. Seymour Hersh, he's very well connected. And he is reporting that Zelensky and his top officials and generals have embezzled, stolen $400 million of American money. In fact, the CIA has had meetings with him, and this $400 million theft of Zelensky and his top henchmen is the number that the CIA has estimated the theft at. And they've confronted Zelensky about this. And as they're begging for more money and have taken a whole bunch more money than they should have been getting, Zelensky and his henchmen are stealing the money as fast as it's coming in. And this is all new stuff this morning that's being reported. And I think it's important, Steve, that Zelensky is a crook, and people need to know it. Well, I didn't know about this yesterday. I found out about this morning when I was reading the news. I did not know about this yesterday. This is new information to me. That what's new about it is, of course, I knew Zelensky was stealing money. You know, I figured, but now we have reporting that it's true, and that the CIA confronted him about this. And the CIA report is estimating, it's a classified report that Seymour Hersh got access to because he's a connected guy, that the CIA is estimating Zelensky and his top henchmen have stolen $400 million and put it God knows where. It's pretty bad. Yes, according to Seymour Hersh and the CIA. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, Tom. This little traitor, okay, has absolutely no reason or rhyme to do what he did, Brian, except for the fact of trying.
Who's the traitor?
No, not Brian. The traitor, the guy who leaked all this information.
Seymour Hersh?
Okay.
Oh, the Air Force guy. The Air Force guy? The whistleblower.
Guy who we're talking.
The whistleblower.
Specific. He didn't just specifically go after one issue. I would agree with you with that. If one issue was blown up, fine. He did a treasure trove of whatever he got his grummy little stupid ignorant hands on and did the American people.
No, the Air Force whistleblower.
About the traitor.
The Air Force whistleblower.
And Marjorie Taylor Greene saying that.
Zelensky.
Yeah, no, Brian's narrative, Steve, is fitting his talking points where it's, we shouldn't be in Ukraine, and this is not this guy's a whistleblower, he's not a traitor, he's doing a good thing. That's the narrative he's going for. I would agree with you, Brian, if he just released the one thing. But he dumped all.
Well, what else? What did he release? Oh, slow down. Let me ask you, Tom, because you have information I don't, okay? You obviously know more than I do about this. What information did the Air Force whistleblower release that is treasonous, a betrayal of the United States?
Well, let's see. Besides him walking out with the building and first off and knowing it was wrong, there you go.
That's not treason. That's not that. Where did he betray? No. Where did he betray? Where did he betray the United States?
Okay. All right. So let's go with a couple of documents. There's the document with Egypt.
Well, first off, how do you hold on? I'm very confused. These are classified documents. How do you have possession and knowledge of them, and why are you publicly spreading this classified information?
So wait a minute. So what you're talking about Ukraine and Zelensky, you're giving a double-edged sword in a catch-22.
No, a double-edged sword and a catch-22. That doesn't. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm not the one. I'm telling you
something.
What I'm telling you, out of everything he released, the most important was this U.S. troops in combat up against Russians. I consider him a whistleblower, not treason. I think people need to know this. You're saying he committed treason, and I'm curious as to why you were sharing publicly information that would betray this country.
Guys, Steve, what did this guy do, Steve?
I'm doing what Steve taught me how to do.
Steve, no, I'm saying, what did he do, Steve? Do you think he did the right thing, Steve, in the whistleblower, or is he a traitor?
I don't know at this point.
You don't know? Okay.
I think there's a lot of stuff
In my
that
opinion,
uncovered.
in my opinion, if you're working for the government and they provide you and gift you with the access of sensitive materials, you don't go ahead and betray them and turn your back and then, oh, you're a pro.
Well, you know what they, you know, yeah.
Talk about how
You people.
America
You people.
want to destroy it. Yes. Yes.
Who are you people?
Party. Shout out to you people. You played that with the other black gentlemen. Shut up, Ryan. You know you're in a fucking.
Oh, first dump of the week. Is the delay on, Mike? The first dump of the week. I mean, oh my goodness. We'll be right back.
Making morning radio great again.
You did? Okay, good. Good. Yeah, use the F word. Oh my goodness. To you guys, not on the radio. We had him check. Not to you guys. There's no delay on YouTube. You guys are getting it live. I can't let it over the radio. Profanity is allowed on line, not on the radio.
And now, a True Oldies traffic check, brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Oh my goodness.
Traffic is service of Palm Beach Kennel Club. BBKC has the best derby party south of Churchill Downs. Kentucky Derby Fest is coming up May 6th. Check out the on-track party with jumbo screen, live music from Sip and Fire and the Connected, derby hat contest, barbecue food tent, bars, mint juleps, fun activities, and True Oldies will be there with great handicapping tips and prizes. Vatican Terrace will also feature derby buffets. For info, go to bbkennelclub.com. Your allergies tested at any
Oh, the callers are awesome. That's two shut-ups. Thanks, Carl. Yeah.
Located at 955 North University Drive.
This Air Force kid. Treason or whistleblower? Traitor or whistleblower? What do you say? You can just do a T or a W. Traitor or whistleblower? T or W? Make it easier if you don't want to write out the whole word. T or W? Traitor or whistleblower? I say whistleblower. Yeah. Whistleblower. Yeah. Yeah. You're all welcome to call in. One 465-2631. It's the call-in number. Can someone put the call-in number in the chat? 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. You're welcome to call in. You don't have to agree with us to call in. You hear these callers. I see a lot of whistleblowers. I didn't see any T's. Well, that's what, these callers, they do things to make you hang up on them. That's why he did that. It's like Renee brings up my daughter trying to get me to hang up on him. Unsung hero. Yeah. Think about it. If he would have given that information to the New York Times or the Washington Post, he'd be a hero. But because he gave it to a Discord group, he's a traitor. It is, Bruce. This show has flown by. Flown by. Whistleblower or traitor, the Air Force kid with the secrets from the Pentagon. W means whistleblower, T for traitor. I say whistle. So I just said, give me a T or a W. So, because whistleblower is a long word. Half the people would misspell traitor. So that'll be easier, a T or a W. All right, we're back. The phones are busy, Steve, on this Monday morning.
The longer you take a situation like this existing in the world today, where looking at teams lined up on both sides, the good guys and the bad guys, and the longer things play out, the more people fall into their place. For example, give me an example. Soros. I've always wondered why Soros never seemed to be a featured player in all these things. He was always behind the scene. He was always raising money. He was always having problems largely with the legal system as he is today. But he was not an upfront player. All of a sudden, from nowhere, late in the game, Soros has now become more public. There was an article, a great article in the New York Post over the weekend that talks about Soros' soldiers who have the ear of the White House. So now as you look at this whole international situation, it turns out that our president, what remains of him, whatever, is really in league with Soros, who is definitely from the beginning. It's been easy to identify Soros as one of the bad guys because he hasn't done much to conceal it. But now that we're getting closer to the end game or the middle game, Soros is becoming more public. This can help you in your perception, your understanding of the world situation, which on its surface looks so complex. But when you get right down to the end, there are the good guys and the bad guys. Zelensky was a good guy from the beginning, largely because he lined up against Putin and lined up against the Russians who were committing genocide.
Genocide?
Yes. Oh, this.
Ukrainians are not a race. I mean, you can't commit genocide against Ukrainians. They're Russians. Ukrainians are Russians.
No. That's Putin's story.
Oh, okay.
He owns the Ukrainians.
Yeah.
His story. So I don't buy that story. You can buy it. You can go with Comrade.
Putin. Yeah.
But to me, I still view Putin as a bad guy, and I view Zelensky as a good guy.
All right.
And if you're telling me that it takes money to do a war, I can believe that. And I'm sure Zelensky does a lot of fundraising.
Ah.
As long as the money goes to keeping Russia in Russia, And
He can steal as much as he wants.
You're characterizing it as stealing.
Now, that's Seymour Hersh, Pulitzer Prize winning journalist who broke open the whole bombing of Cambodia during Vietnam, has a CIA report that says it.
Okay, so who was the Vietnam War? Who was the good guy?
No, the U.S. soldiers, I would guess, were the good guys.
You think sure?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. What?
Cool.
All right, the phones are ringing. Yeah, all right. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yes, you're on the air.
Oh, okay. I didn't know his name. Hi. It's nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. My name's Graham, like Graham Cracker. I'm calling from Long Island, New York.
Okay. You're what?
I just wanted to, comment on what the last caller was talking about. I think there's a valid point to be made that the 21-year-old Air Force guy, I think he was first airman, first class, or something like that. We know very little about everything that was leaked so far. If I'm not mistaken, DOJ has not gone through the prosecution yet for him in court, so we still don't really know.
Well, okay, slow down. No.
Just trying to make it.
Slow down, Graham Cracker.
He can be both a traitor.
Hey, slow down, Graham Cracker.
Talk about the DOJ. In your view, in the context of the premise I just laid out about good guys and bad guys, do you consider today the DOJ of the Biden administration to be good guys or bad guys?
I would say definitely more bad guys than good guys. The point I was making about that is cheatings. We haven't heard.
No. Okay, slow down for a second. Now you're Graham, like Graham Cracker. You're new to the show. My name's Saltine, like Saltine Cracker, because I'm so pasty white. Here's good to meet you too, Saltine. I'm Saltine. You're Graham. Okay, here's the thing. Okay, now we know a lot of information. What came out of this story is what I said earlier. Is that one of the documents showed that U.S. soldiers are on the ground in actual face-to-face combat against Russian soldiers. And I haven't heard one reporter say, well, wait a minute, have any Americans been shot or killed by Russians? Have we shot or killed Russian soldiers? But here's the thing. The reason he was arrested last week, what did he do wrong that got him arrested, Graham Cracker?
Well, he leaked classified documents.
No. No, no, that's not why he was arrested. He was arrested because he went to his Discord video game group and leaked the information to them. If he would have leaked them to the New York Times or the Washington Post, he wouldn't have gotten arrested and he would be called a whistleblower hero by the press. He gave them to the Discord server, not the New York Times or the Washington Post. That's why he got arrested.
Well, I'll just reference a friend of mine and his perspective. His name is Michael Vasquez. He's a former Marine. He knows a lot more about military.
Yeah, Lee Harvey Oswald was a Marine.
Okay, but the point that Michael Vasquez made yesterday on his Sunday show was that the type of leak that
You're the plug.
just did was similar to Edward Snowden, similar to Chelsea Manning, and also similar to Hillary Clinton.
Well. Now, excuse me. Hillary Clinton, what she did was for personal gain and wealth. Snowden, and who was it you say? Chelsea Manning, who was given a free pass by Obama and now goes by the name Highly Golightly in New York City. Okay, these are considered, not Hillary, but the other two are considered whistleblowers. And Snowden in particular, it brought to the attention of the American people that the government is listening to us on our cell phones. People didn't realize that. So these are don't throw Hillary in with those guys. And when you talk about Holly Golightly there, you're talking about the great Julian Assange.
Right. Okay. So the point that I'm trying to make is that I think it's a bad idea to discuss these kinds of things from a partisan perspective.
Well, it is partisan. It is partisan. You know, here you got Vindman, who took classified information, a phone call that the president had with Zelensky, leaked it out there and got him impeached. Why wasn't he arrested and charged with leaking classified documents?
Fair enough. And what I was trying to explain about the former Mike.
Oh my, we got the first free plug for him. Okay, all right. Appreciate the call. The guy's calling in just to plug something else. You know, that's why he keeps going to Michael Vasquez. That's his response to everything. He's probably Michael Vasquez, Steve. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Helen from Kansas.
Yes, Helen.
Well, let's compare how many treasonous acts our government has committed against we the people.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Things were going. She's gone. Things were going well. You know, this is the deal. Okay, this is the deal. It is partisan because the government, and this happened with Trump coming down the escalator, weaponized and politicized everything in the government. So all these things are political. All right. Vindman didn't get arrested for his classified leak because he had something negative about the great President Trump, and they don't want to prosecute. You know, all these leaks, the Pentagon paper, all these leaks that came out of during the Vietnam War era, those people weren't put in jail because the Democrats agreed with what they were leaking. The Democrats are all in with Ukraine. They all got their Ukraine pins on their clothes, and they don't care how much money Zelensky steals, you know, as long as the big guy gets 10%, you know. So because he leaked something out about the Democrats, he's a traitor. He's a spy. But if you leak things out that the Democrats want out there against Republicans, you're an American hero. I mean, that's how they operate. Now, our number is toll free 1-888-GO-CANE 1-888-465-2631. Now, listen, there's been a lot of rain. I mean, it was raining so hard today. I literally took my life in my hands driving to the radio station this morning. If you've got a wet spot on your ceiling, you've got a leak in your roof. All right. And you want to call Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting. He's a good MAGA guy, and he will never sell you a roof you do not need. He works with every type of roofing material and every type of structure, single-family homes, commercial properties, municipal buildings, condos, HOAs, apartment buildings, churches. He can handle everything. And with the new laws in Florida, Tom Laporta can deal directly with your insurance company on the cost of the repairs. All right. This is going to be a bad rainy season. I can tell. Hurricane season is not even here yet. And look what we're dealing with. So call Tom Laporta. This number rings directly to Tom Laporta's cell phone. All right. 954-604-4602. Tom Laporta covers the entire state of Florida, and his response time when you call him, he's almost a first responder. He responds so quickly. 954-604-4602 and online, LaportaContracting.com. Back after this.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve.
All right. Oh, this is an exciting day, Steve. It is time for the first gold report of the week. We're going to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated in Boca, as we do each day at this time, to get the openings on the metals. William Youngerman, how are the metals opening up this week?
Opening up pretty solid, above just around that $2,000 number again. Last week we saw gold trade in a nice range of just under $2,000 all the way up to about $2,050. On Friday we had a range of $1,992 to $2,048 and closed down to $36.10 from the previous day, but still above the $2,000 number, closing out the week at $2,004. Silver got up to $26.08 last week and then closed down 49 cents on Friday at $25.33, giving us a little bit of a buying opportunity. And platinum was down $5 on Friday, closing at $1,046, while plating was down $1 at $1,439. This morning or overnight, we saw gold trade in a range of $1,995 all the way up to $2,015. Right now, about $2,004, unchanged from Friday's close, but again, still above the $2,000 number. Silver up 12 cents at $25.45 right now. Platinum up $4 at $1,050, and palladium down $5 at $1,434. So we're starting off the week, pretty much strong from where we were.
Oh yeah.
This weekend.
Yeah, this is amazing. This is amazing. At around 202, 204, right, or 2004-ish right now. Is this a buying opportunity today on gold at this price?
I think it could be, yes. I think today, if you can, if it gets just a little below that $2,000 number, which it probably will, there seems to be a little bit of a struggle between 1995 and 2005. So you can pick it up a little bit cheaper, but at these levels, I think it's still a bargain.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Now, listen, William Youngerman opens up at 10 a.m. And if you see a little dip and you say, I want to jump in, call right away and lock in that price at 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. Online, williamyoungerman.com, or stop right in. 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca, on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway, on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. All right, William Youngman, it's going to be a great week. We'll talk tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
All right, back after this.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on.
All right, the phones are ringing. Let's go. I'm Brian. Steve Kane is here. It is Monday, April 17th, and you're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yeah, you're on the air.
Oh, hi. I think we got cut off earlier.
Yeah, I figured. I knew that was you. No. It's one call per show. And I let you go through because I know you're new and you bring a lot to the program. So I brought you back on. You can only call once per show. And the disconnect is because I moved on. All right. So you can call back tomorrow. Okay. When someone's new, I want to give them a little bit of leeway. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Liberal Al.
The Washington Post has already reported that the Taiwanese officials doubt air defense can accurately detect missile launches. That's what was part of what his document dump was. Okay.
Oh, so this is great. So this Air Force airman whistleblower not only exposed this illegal war that Biden's waging in Ukraine against Mother Russia, he also shared that Biden has left Taiwan virtually defenseless if China comes in.
Yeah, just so you know, I know you're not informed on Ukraine, but they're the fourth largest producer of corn, the second largest producer of the world.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
It's almost as dumb.
Oh, you cut out. I sound almost as dumb as what? That part cut out. I want to hear. What am I almost as dumb as? You?
DeSantis. He said.
Oh, DeSantis.
Territorial. Hey, Al.
Oh my goodness. Are you okay, Al?
No, but that's been going on for a while.
I mean, you're having a hard time getting sentences out.
Have you heard that the DeSantis Political Action Committee is putting out attack ads at Trump? I mean,
I saw the ad. Well, he's a traitor. He's a traitor, Ron DeSantis. I'm glad he put that ad out. So in case people did not know, he's betrayed Donald Trump and the MAGA movement, Ron DeSantis.
And Sarah.
So all of a sudden, you think DeSantis is a source of credible criticism? You agree with DeSantis now, Al?
I don't agree with him anything,
but the hate ad you do. So everything he says about Donald Trump you don't agree with. It's not true. Is that what you're saying?
Mark this down. On April 27th or April 20th, will be decided on that trial in New York will never happen because all the superstition.
Oh my goodness! All right, I got to let him go because the cell connection or his mental clarity are cutting out. The brain connection. You know, there was oh, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. Okay, I'm going to play some audio that is difficult to understand, but that's okay because I'm going to share with you what's said, and this is too beautiful to let go. Jean-Pierre got caught on a hot mic that she did not know was on in Ireland. Yes. And the reason I'm going to play the audio, even though it's not even really audible, but I'm going to play it anyway. I'm going to tell you what she said. I'm going to play it, then I'll tell you again. Biden is in Ireland and he's crossing the street with an umbrella, and he's walking across the street, and Jean-Pierre, she doesn't know the mic is on. She's very excited that he's walking across the street, and this audio, and you can hear the tone of what I would consider excitement and pride when she says, he's walking under the umbrella, he's right there. That's what she says. So let me play this audio. And this is Jean-Pierre, proud that Biden can walk across the street in Ireland with an umbrella. Yeah. So she's talking to, she's talking to someone. He's walking right there. Yeah. She says he's walking right there. She's so excited. I want to know who she's bragging to. I mean, this is how excited. I remember the first time my daughter stood up and walked across the room. This is how excited we were. She's walking. Yeah. Oh my goodness. You know, the White House press corps are, you want to talk about traitors. This is a gem. You know, this is the kind of thing that you could win a Pulitzer Prize for. You know, you've got Jean-Pierre. She said she's bragging that she set it up so he can have an opportunity. He's so out of it that they're so out of it. She set this thing up so that he could look like he's young, fit, and in shape, that he can walk across the street. And he's walking. Look, he's walking right there. He's walking. Yeah, and he's got the nuclear football too, Jean-Pierre. You're not feeling me with confidence. Oh my goodness. Who's she bragging to? I know Peter Doocy loves to congratulate himself on how great he is. You know, in these press briefings. Ask Jean-Pierre about that, Doocy. Who is she bragging to? And why is she so excited that he's walking across the street? Okay. Tucker Carlson's got big interviews this week with Elon Musk. And this is some must-watch stuff, okay? Let me play this. This is they've only released one clip. This is Tucker with Elon Musk. It's the interviews tonight.
The degree to which various government agencies effectively have full access to everything that was going on Twitter blew my mind. I was not aware of that.
Would that include people's DMs?
Yes.
Okay, Elon Musk, the wealthiest African American, which is an amazing thing. You know, we just got out of Black History Month a while back, but he's the richest African American. Elon Musk. This interview is with Tucker looks to be amazing. And, you know, what he's showing is the government surveillance over even your private DMs on Twitter. And apparently there's some kind of backdoor access that the government had into Twitter to monitor everything all of you were doing on Twitter. And I am of the belief, I know a lot of people will call this a crazy conspiracy theory, but I think it's true. I think the internet and social media were invented by the government so they could spy on us. And Twitter, you know, one of the reasons we're doing so well, we're winning all the narratives, right, Steve? I mean, whatever story's out there, we're winning. And there's several reasons why, but one of the reasons why is the left have lost control of Twitter to spread their propaganda. They don't have a propaganda tool to spread their narrative and make their narrative look like it's the truth, since Elon Musk bought Twitter. So this is this Elon Musk interview on Tucker Carlson is must-see TV. Okay, check that out. Now, we have Mother's Day coming up in just a few short weeks, and I got to tell you, there's no better gift than the gift of something from MyPillow.com. Now, you can take advantage of all the specials at MyPillow.com, but there's two in particular that I'm going to talk about right now that are great gifts for mom on her day, okay? And, you know, if you think about it, and by the way, mom is not just your mother. Mom could be your wife, your grandmother. These are mothers. It could be your daughter if she has children. You know, there's a lot of mothers in your life. And there's not a mom around that would not love a set of the MyPillow bathrobe and the MyPillow slippers. The MyPillow bathrobes, huge discount for Mother's Day, just $59.98. And the MyPillow bathrobes, I have one, my wife has one. They come in many different colors. There's a whole bunch of new colors and a whole bunch of sizes. And there's also two types of robes, the heavy robe and the lighter robe. Just $59.98 at MyPillow.com with the promo code Kane. The MyPillow My Slippers there's a whole bunch of new sizes out. For the men, they have a larger and wider sizes. And for the ladies, there's a lot of new smaller sizes that they now have in the My Pillow, My Slippers. And there's a whole bunch of new colors, in particular for the ladies. And there's multiple styles of the My Pillow, My Slippers. Right now, they are $100 off for Mother's Day, the My Pillow, My Slippers, just $49.98. You know, I have 2 pairs of the My Pillow and My Slippers. I paid $149.98 for each of mine. And it was worth every penny, but they're $100 off, just $49.98. And to call them a slipper really does them a disservice. They're good for all day wear. And I remember, Steve, on our listener cruise, you were wearing your My Pillow, My Slippers to dinner, even on formal night on the cruise, and no one noticed because they're nice shoes. Calling them a slipper does a bit of a disservice. And I wear mine all the time, and they're so comfortable, so soft, and they're just like the day I got them. Everything Mike Lindell makes is of high quality. And if you think throughout your life, what gifts did you give mom that she still has, that you remember, that she remembers, or that she actually used? You get her these great My Pillow products, she'll have them for years to come, and she will keep them. Now, again, you can take advantage of all the specials there with our promo code Kane, not just the ones I talk about. You can also order by phone, toll-free, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879, promo code Kane, K-A-N-E. Well, I got to tell you, Steve, this week has started off as a hot news week, and it's only Monday. So this is going to be a big week, I'm here to tell you, with everything that's coming out now. Oh my goodness. There's no doubt about that. And no matter what the story is, it always is coming out on the right side. Vote Trump, reelect Trump in 2024. You know, Breitbart has a big piece on President Trump today, talking about him being the front runner. And they can't hide it anymore. He is the front runner. DeSantis just lost over the weekend a big donor. One of the top DeSantis donors dropped him over the weekend. You know, these guys, they don't mind throwing money around at these candidates if they can pay them back in favors and get elected. And this is the second time I've seen high-profile big donors drop DeSantis. That tells me that it's not an investment that they think is going to give them anything back in the future, because DeSantis is unelectable forever, it would appear. So that's good news. And it looks like the media are finally accepting that Trump's the front runner. They're not trying to dance around it anymore and prop up other candidates. That's why you have, Pompeo and others saying, I'm not running, because they don't want to be embarrassed.
Inevitable.
Exactly. Before they're embarrassed. All right, guys, listen, that's all the time we have for today. Now, if you miss a portion of the show or even an entire episode, each day about an hour after we sign off the air, the entire show is uploaded on our radio station website, trueoldiesfla.com. That's trueoldiesfla.com, and they're archived up there forever. So if you miss a show or a part of a show, just go to trueoldiesfla.com around 10 o'clock every day, and the entire show is updated. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane has been here. This is Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. God bless America, and, of course, God bless Donald Trump. See you tomorrow morning.
WWNN Pompano Beach, WIRK HD3.
All right, guys, I got to run. Make sure that you subscribe, all right, and like the video before you go. Take care.